We're back with another episode of Squeeze the Neck podcast. And today I got with me Big Marcus, aka the Ronin.
Damn right.
We've already been here for a bit. We've been having a bit of a giggle off camera, but we'll keep it off camera because we get cancelled before we start if we get into some of that stuff, man. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm very grateful for having me here in your studio, the great Myriad Studios.
Yeah, man.
Tell us about your studio before we start.
Bro, it's just basically in a sentence, we're a production company, but we specialize in podcasting, but we do live streaming, we do video, we do photography, we do everything, we editing, we do the whole shebang.
Do everything.
Everything,
so,
bro.
Fine everything, bro.
I don't know where this is going, but
this got weird.
We do everything media-wise.
Before we even started today, I was like, this is going to be a good one. We're on fire today. So maybe we'll wind back to that in a bit, but let's get into some martial arts, man, because that's ultimately why we're here, right?
Yeah,
I know I met you on the mats in the wonderful Brixton BJJ.
Yeah, man.
Both heavy into Jiu-Jitsu, been in for a long time now, but I know you've also got a background in judo as well, or you do judo still, or whatever it may be. So tell us, tell us where you're from originally, mate, and how you led up to your martial arts journey.
Oh, well, you mean like background, or do you mean like where I grew up?
I mean both, whatever you want.
Yeah, because it's
want.
that great takes me out because I'm like,
brains are
which
yours.
one do you mean?
Either or, whatever, man.
Right, so basically, so essentially I'm from the Windrush era. So my parents or grandparents are from Jamaica, second generation. So my mum was born here and so on and so forth. But me personally, my story is a bit not a mad one, but a bit more mixed. So even though I was born in London, I grew up in Birmingham for the first 6 years.
I just caught a bit of a twang when you said Birmingham.
Birmingham. It's in Birmingham. It's in Birmingham for about 6 years. So being in Birmingham, I was there till about 6 years old. Then moved back to London, to Tottenham. It's where I grew
and he's
up.
dragged me north of the river today, by the way, guys.
Hey,
never been so offended in my life.
North, where's that, bro? North of the river, bro.
You got to discuss that later.
You know what I mean?
Let's get the mats out a bit lively.
So I've basically been here for most of my life here, bro. In North London. So
that's from the age of 6. You're back in North. Where was you born in London? Which part of London?
Oh man, it sounds bad to say it, but I was like a place called Newham. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. That's south of the river, right? Isn't that south of the river?
No, bro. It's east. Have you not been to Newham?
No. Where's Newham? I thought
Like
Newham was south
East Ham, like where West Ham is.
Oh yeah. I thought it was a bit more south than that. It's right in the thick of the West Ham, is it?
Yeah,
we'll get into
basically.
football teams later as well.
Yeah,
because this is the bit where we fall out.
Yeah. So, and I was just thinking to myself when I thought like as a kid, I've been there before like years ago. And I'm like, how did my mum live here like for so many years ago? I don't understand that. I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm like, no offense, guys. If you're from East Ham, no offense.
If you're from Newham, Big Ronin don't like you.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I was just like, how is this even possible? But
people live here.
I thought it'd be bad, but I'm just like, yo, wow. That's why they were left from. That's why West Ham left from East Ham to go to Stratford. So I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
took that stadium real quick. Went into the big leagues there, didn't they? And you say about West Ham. Oops.
Yeah.
Say about West Ham, they had the very tight pitch, didn't they? And they
did, bro.
kiboshed all that and just said, "Fuck it, let's just get out of here."
Stratford. It's opening. It's opening. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
That's it.
We can get in. Let's do it. Let's move out of this place. But so tell us, from 6 years old, mate, how early did you get into martial arts or any sporting background?
Bro, I didn't get into martial arts until literally my mid-20s, like late mid-20s.
Okay.
So I've always loved martial arts. I obviously loved like Bruce Lee and Sammo Hung, Donnie Yen, Jet Li, all those guys. So all those guys obviously inspired me. But I remember seeing like a thing from, what was it, Donnie Yen, his movie Flashpoint from back in 2005. So for those that don't know, you guys know, back in 2005, and he introduced Jiu-Jitsu into his movies, into his choreography.
Oh, okay, very good.
And so who knows about this? Like back then, I was like, "What is this nonsense on the ground? What am I seeing here? All these arm bars and
a few
all
homo jokes floating about and stuff like that. I've heard it all, man. My background was boxing. Yeah, I've heard it.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone says to me, "Why did I do Jiu-Jitsu?" I can't even explain to them.
Yeah,
I can't even explain to them. You can't explain to people who don't do it. It's like, I just do Jiu-Jitsu. It's cool to me. Like,
that's it, because I like to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I like it.
I like doing Jiu-Jitsu, innit?
So this is 2005, you watched it. What was it? Who was the movie?
It's called Flashpoint with Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen, okay, cool.
So he had a choreography with doing the striking with the Jiu-Jitsu.
So you weren't a Rocky baby or anything like that?
No, Rocky was like one of my first I watched when I was young.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
because I grew up on Rocky.
Rocky 3 was the first one I've ever seen.
Mate. If you weren't so far away, I'd shake your hand. That's the one. That is the one. Don't even talk to me if you don't like Rocky.
Mr. T, he killed that role. That was
best film.
That was for me was just like Yeah, like out of Mr. T. Like,
mate, Rocky films were so good. Even when I got into boxing, I could see how terrible the boxing scenes were. I still, I'm still on board. You still got me.
With the sounds of the head going back.
I don't care. Whatever. I'm in. You got me.
No, but it was good though. Like those movies. But if you think about those kind of movies, they had like a lasting impact for generations. Mate, going forward,
Rocky, Sylvester Stallone probably got more people into boxing than like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali combined, right? He probably got more people. He got me interested in it anyway.
It's
you know what I mean?
It's what do you call it? It's a pop culture event. Like,
absolutely, and everyone gravitates to that, right?
Always,
because me and you are similar age, right? We spoke about this before. He's a bit older than me.
I'm granddad actually. I'm granddad. You know what I mean? Getting the grey hairs and all sorts of stuff.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. Every day I pluck one out of my beard and like, hope for the best, you know?
Looking at Gandalf in the end to be like, you know what I mean?
I'm not great. I'm just trying something new, but yeah, for our generation, I'm sure it was the same for you. I used to go down Blockbuster and you'd have to hope that it was a VHS at the time for anyone born in the 2000s.
Bro,
VHS was,
my days.
We'll explain VHSs later maybe, but they was like old school, right? Like a big cassette.
Those were the things, man.
Of course they were. Everyone had it. But you'd go to Blockbuster, you'd get your popcorn, you'd go home with Rocky, and if someone else had Rocky 3 out, that was it. That was your evening ruined. You just you'd have to settle for Rocky 2.
Luckily for me though, I go to my cousin's house, and then they would have like the whole like VHS cassettes, not on like a bookshelf.
Yeah, because everyone knew someone that had a house with the VHS tapes everywhere.
Everything, bro. Everything, every popular movie that you could ever want to see, but it was just there for you.
Yeah. Well, what kind of movies are you talking about, bro?
I'm gonna get to it.
That is something that people younger than us will never appreciate. When you were 13 and your first mate was old enough to be left in the house on his own with his mates, and you'd go around there, and it was VHS time.
Bro, everything, bro. Like the worst, like everything. Like Predator, Terminator,
all the movies,
all the classic movies, bro. Like you just couldn't get enough of it. I was so lucky. Plus, they would have like the Super Nintendo as well.
Oh mate, N64 was my first ever console. Was a Sega Mega Drive. Remember them?
Yes, bro.
Sega Mega Drive, and that was like, wow, this is a different world. But then when, or whatever year it would have been, the Christmas that it came out, and I got a Nintendo 64. Forget it. It was a different world. This was like, you can't tell me nothing no more. I've got an N64.
These are the days, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. To get the cartridge, go and put it back in, and then wait. The classic stuff,
and they were better than PlayStation because the PlayStation disc.
I want to say that.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the PlayStation disc would always get scratched.
True, but
whereas
then
a Nintendo was.
Yeah, good, but if enough dust got in there, it would have been finished.
Nintendo, you could throw him across the room at your pal, and he would move and hit the wall, and you stick it back in, no problem. We're still
when
playing.
the PlayStation came out, bro, that was me done. That all there's or whatever got put away. It was just forget that, bro.
And do you remember what was the Cube one? Do you remember? I think it was a Dreamcast. Do you remember those?
Bro, so underrated.
Oh, I was going to say no, they was overrated. They're terrible.
Underrated, bro.
Oh, really? They was good. What games was on them?
They like Sonic games. So obviously, like them coming from Sega, like Sonic games and so on and so forth. They had a good one called, I think, Power Stone.
Okay.
Which is like a fighting game. But again, if you know, innit?
Well, the ones on PlayStation was like the Metal Gear Solids, all these kind of things. But we're going down memory lane here for the 90s.
Tekken, all those.
Tekken, stop it, Tekken. Yeah, we had the what was the one? It was a bit before my time. My older cousin used to play Abe's Odyssey. Was it Abe's Odyssey or something like Abe's World?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like a weird alien-looking thing, and you had to go through the levels.
Yeah, see that would lost me too.
Yeah, I've lost you because my cousin was sort of 6-7 years older than me, and it was like I'd have to watch it and I wouldn't get a game. You know what I mean? It was one of them deals.
It was always the case, isn't it? They were asking for the control pad.
You're right, boy.
You just sit down and be quiet and watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Kind of pushed that, but bless him, I think he was a bit of a. I don't think he had many friends his own age. So when I got to about 14, he was about 21. The tides turned a bit. It was one of them deals. Do you know what I mean? So
that's how it is, though. That's how it works, bro. It's how it works, man. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, so we went way off track there. We're talking about Nintendo.
Bro, is this like? Is this similar age that you get to know the names and stuff? What it was, man.
When someone's like the same age and they like a Nintendo, forget it. We talk for hours.
Those are the days, man. I can't lie to you. Those are the days you think about it. Even though. Right now, the stuff that we have right now, those days, I think you appreciate them most.
Oh, mate, they were the best, weren't they? I remember, like going back to that. I remember when we had a Game Boy, and then a Game Boy Color came out.
What you mean, like the original, the grey,
and then a Game Boy Color came out, and that was like mind blowing. But now, if you showed a kid this 8 years old or whatever I was when that came out, a Game Boy Color, he'd look at you like you were simple, wouldn't he? He'd be like, "What am I gonna do with this? What am I gonna do with this?"
Bro, I remember being at SOAS, my teacher. He's about, I think, like 10 years older than me. So, but then the kids go to SOAS. Obviously, they're like, 18 or whatever the case is. So my teacher's got like the phone where you got the buttons on it. one of the students saw the phone, looked at it, and was like, "What's this? What are these buttons?" He didn't understand
He's like trying to change the TV with it. He's got an
I looked at my sensei and I laughed at him. I was like, laughing so
mate,
hard.
in a lot of ways, I think we had it better then. How many people are like, "Oh, my phone." I came in here today, I was like, "I've got no charge on my phone. Where have you got a charger?" You know?
Well, this is it, bro. This is
I was going to get lost on the way home without my phone. You know what I mean? Like,
get off the station like that. It's like, it's literally, you can see the station. It's right there. You can see. You can't miss it. You know what I mean?
But that's the world we live in now. In a lot of ways, I do think we had it better then. It was simpler times, wasn't it? And I feel like our generation is kind of the age where we saw so much change so quickly. And probably every generation says it, right? But
no, you're true. It's very true, because we're the bridge between the world before and what the world is right now. And we have clear memories of what it was before. Yeah. So, for example, I remember my cousins talking about having a black book. So when they go out on and they see the girl that they like, that to approach her and do the whole shebang.
And you have to get a number.
Get a number, not just like, you couldn't get her mobile number, because mobile's number was a thing.
You have to ring up and open mum didn't answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or her dad. Or the dad. So if you got to ring up the number, you got the dad on the phone, you got to be on your best. You got to have.
You just put the phone down a lot.
So you not only do you have to like riz the girl, you got to riz the dad first before you get to the girl. That's mad.
You got to put on like a bit of a fancy accent.
Yeah, you got to be like we all like gentlemen like, and you know,
like we're just friends, and we we do art together and all that. You know
going through the whole motions, bro. The whole embarrassment of going through that.
Mate, ringing your mate. I remember ringing up friends at their house and being like, "Oh, is Stephen there? No, he's out at the moment." You go, "All right, bye." That was it. If you arranged to meet Stephen at 6 o'clock and he weren't there at 6, that was it.
You're done.
Just go home.
That was it.
Stephen turns up at 6:10. He's missed you. Party's over.
But that's it, man.
That was the world.
That was it, man.
That was the world.
That was it.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got friends now with kids that are 4 and 5 that I'm very close to.
Yeah.
And they know how to operate an iPhone. Like, they haven't got an iPhone, obviously, but they take my iPhone off them. They know the code. They open it. They're going through everything. They could, buy themselves a Nintendo if they wanted to.
Yeah. But well, sorry, I didn't know, Mum. I'm sorry, I didn't know stuff on the thing itself. But this is it, man. So being that bridge between what it was before, what it is now. We appreciate the both.
We do. And I think we look back fondly, right? It weren't that great at the time because we're also of the generation, I don't know about you specifically, but it was acceptable to get a beating in the local Sainsbury's by your mum.
Yeah. Because you're acting up in the Sainsbury's though. You know he's acting up.
Mate, if you messed about in Sainsbury's, you better watch yourself.
They would warn you before you have to. They
give you the look. You better watch yourself.
You embarrass me on road. I'm gonna beat you in front of people. And not only did they say that, if you want to call Childline, I'll give you the phone to call Childline after as well.
Yeah, go on, call them.
Call them.
Go on, dare ya.
Yeah.
I remember I have that one. Dare ya. Go on, dare ya. And you go, well, do you know the number? Shit. Yeah, I remember.
Reverse psychology on you, like, no.
But I tell you what, I can remember. It sounds like I'm going bad on my mum. I'm not. But it's like I remember being in Mallorca, Palma Airport, and I was in the airport. Now imagine this. Now I was in the airport and I was getting a whack. Like I can't remember why. I was young, but I remember. You know when you go like, "Oh, all right, that's enough." No one batted an eyelid. Now you'd be on the news. But then it was like, yeah, you must have said something bad, you know.
But that's what it was, though. Like you have to behave yourself. There was none of this. What do you call? What do you call it? You got to be so understanding. You got to not be. Well,
that's the thing now. The big, and obviously you can cross the line. But there was all that. Oh, you can't say that. I'm offended. Yeah. It's like, well, no, that's why I said it. I was trying to offend you, man. What the fuck are we talking about?
Exactly.
What are we talking about?
What is this nonsense?
What is this? You tell me.
Nah, it's madness, but it's funny though, looking back at it. At the time it wasn't funny. At the time you were fucking crying your eyes out.
Yeah.
But now you're looking back at it, you're crying. Your about to start laughing. Talk about your friends. Like, yeah, remember back in the day, your mum would beat you with the slipper or whatever.
Like sideways, don't they? They're like, what are you talking about? Huh? You come from a different planet, bro? They're like, what?
Standard procedure. It was standard. What do you mean?
And the difference was everyone had it. I remember being around my mate's house in his bedroom and him getting a hiding off his dad in front of me. You know when you're sitting there going like, just pretending you're playing fucking Banjo Kazooie. You know what I mean? He's getting a beating in front of you.
They didn't care. They were like, yeah, go home, take bro. So they can say,
yeah,
standard.
Go and tell them they do it to you too.
Yeah,
they'll bash you up for being a grass. That was one too. That was a big one. Don't grass. Don't tell tales.
It was like if you got in trouble as well.
Yeah.
You get the beating from the
You'd get it if
you
was with them. You'd get in trouble if you was with someone that done something wrong as well. I'd get that.
Association.
That was like you was in trouble, not necessarily a beating, but you'd be in trouble as much as they
100%.
were for not doing that thing.
100%.
But I'm 6. You know what I mean?
They don't care. They don't care. They got no chill about it. It's just like you would.
Nah, a mate of mine fell out. We're going on a way tangent here, but a mate of mine fell out of a tree once when we was about 12.
Oh shit!
Broke his arm. And he got in trouble for being stupid and going up a tree.
So what, did he go to hospital?
He had to go to hospital. And he was in trouble. He got grounded after because he fell out of a tree. So now
that's why that's so wrong. That's
use
wrong.
his arm, but he's in trouble for climbing trees. I told you not to climb that tree.
He deserved it. That's what
you get. You deserve it. You deserve it.
What was that thing they say, like that meme? You fuck around too much, and then
yeah, something like that. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You'll find out.
Yeah, but that was
the more you fuck around, the more you find out. That's it. Yeah, the more you fuck around, the more you find out.
But there was the one with it. My dad used to do it to me, and it was playful. But it was like if you did it now, people would be horrified. Like he'd make a cup of tea, right, and you got the the teaspoon inside. Pull the teaspoon out. He goes, "You met my mate Bernie." But it's try doing that now to a kid. That's child line to be round before you even pick up the phone.
Child services become to take your kid out away from you. Gone. It's mad.
Absolutely, but funny times, funny. And I think our age, looking back, because we're not old. I don't feel old anyway. I don't think like I'm a granddad.
I don't know. Sometimes I thought, okay, these young guys, man, going in the gym and he's on the mats with these guys. I'm thinking, you guys are like, how old are you? At 20. Yeah.
Well, that's what there's I don't know his name, but he was. I don't know if he's a drop-in or whether he just trains different class times to me normally. Grown man, beard, looks. He looks around my age.
Yeah.
And blah blah. How old are you, mate? I'm 17. You go, what? What do you mean you're 17? He goes, yeah. You go, when was your birthday? And he goes, blah blah, so and so, 2001. Or it wouldn't even be 2001 now, would it? It would be like 2007 or whatever it was. And it shocked me. And when you go, Jesus Christ.
They're different. Some of these are different, bro. Like someone like one of the guys today who was coaching, he's like 14 and he's like 6'1".
Yeah, mate. They're out there.
14, you're 6'1". Yeah. Like I'm thinking that 2 years time you're gonna be like 6'3", 6'4". Yeah. By the time you're 21, probably like 6'6" or something. Whatever, 6'5", 6'6". You know what I mean? You're thinking,
absolutely. Well, I don't know if you know Stefan. His second name's
Stefan,
right? Purple belt Stefan, monster. Shout out Stefan. Trying to get him on the podcast. But he's 17, and I've known Stefan probably since he was 12 or 13. He used to come to a little wrestling class I taught, and he was like a nice, happy-go-lucky kid. And then you fast forward 4 or 5 years, and you go, Jesus Christ, he's as tall as me. He's like, I don't know whether he's 15, 16 kilos heavier than me. And he's like winning all these competitions at purple belt against grown men. And you go, Jesus Christ.
That was crazy about that. So I saw him at Naga back in last year, September. And he was facing this, they've got the big, tall, scary guy with all the tats.
Yeah.
And whatever. And this guy, before you fought Stefan, right? This guy with the big tats was murdering everyone. Like he even injured the guy. Like he picked him up and slammed him. And I was just like, it was scary. Stefan just took him out.
Like, where am I going? Who's next?
Just took him out. It was a good match, but he just took him out, and I was just like,
he does it right too. He's not a spazzer. He's like a guy. You can't say that word anymore either. But he's not a spazzer. He's like he plays it right. I haven't rolled with him properly yet, but hopefully he'll get the chance to. But he's like, when I watch him, he flows. He's strong, but he doesn't like rely on it. He's super talented.
He's one of them those guys that are really balanced out. He knows.
Nice kid too, and brilliant. And I say kid, not kid condescending, right? He's a young man, right?
Humble man. He's humble.
Yeah, he's humble. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. I've been to his wrestling class actually in Cheam. Shout out New School Cheam. And he's he teaches well. Everything's great, man. So sky's the limit for that kid.
Yeah, man, he'll be fine, man.
And how long have you been training jiu-jitsu?
8 years.
8 years, right? So I've been about 9. So we're like, even in our time of training jiu-jitsu, right? It's like it's changed massively, right? Like I remember going to a class, like one of my first classes, and there was a blue belt in class, and you was like, ooh. It's a real blue belt.
Yeah, and I'm like, and you know what's so funny? Because I didn't really understand the systems, the belt systems.
Yeah.
So anytime I saw like a color belt, I was just like, oh shit, they're like a color belt. Like they know so much.
Yeah, they know everything. But it was then a little bit like, I mean, it's not
kind of. The blue belts were
no, but when you go in a room of it's full, like the whole class is white belts, and there's one blue belt, and he's got like 3 stripes on his belt, and you go, oh, this guy knows a thing or two, and then he puts you in a triangle, and you go, oh.
You're stuck, man. You're just like, you don't know what to do. You're thinking, because they're trying to spaz out and shit. And
exactly. Well, there was a guy in the class, I don't know who he is to this day, but he was an older looking guy, and he was a brown belt at the time. He had like grey hair, and he was quite little, and he was going through the room tapping everyone. And when you're looking at it, and you're going, How? Like, he looks like my granddad, you know? And he's like, yeah, but that's jiu-jitsu, right? But
that's how it works, bro. I remember being a white belt going to New York. It's a place called, I think it's definitely called Clockwork Jiu-Jitsu in Manhattan. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably be training about a year, I think just over a year at this point.
You still a white belt or you blue belt?
White belt at that time. And I saw this 65-year-old black belt. And I'm like, I'm gonna just.
Some people got to learn the hard way, huh?
I'm just thinking, I'm like, what, 28, 29, whatever. And I'm like, I'm just gonna smoke this guy. What do you mean? I don't care if you're black belt. You're 65, bro. Like, what are you gonna do to me?
Yeah.
Bro, was I so wrong?
Yeah, I bet.
I didn't know what to do.
No.
The guy was just doing stuff, and I was just like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
The fuck is this? It's probably a violation, bro. I was like, nah. But it hung with me, though. It was good. It hung with me. Like,
and we've all been there where there's a guy you're more physically imposing than, and you could every physical checkbox you're betting him at. But then when it goes and he starts rolling and doing his little Delahiva and whatever he does, people you don't understand that. People don't understand that feeling, do you? And I don't know about you. We've kind of jumped around a lot, but like, what was your entry into martial arts?
I fell into it too.
Fell into it. Fell over, got tripped over. Or what?
Yeah, bro. So basically, I always wanted to do martial arts, but couldn't afford to do it. Mm-hmm. So I only tell I got a decent job at 27 years old.
27.
This is the facts, bro. This is what it was. I was able to do it. So in my mind, even though, like particularly because I've been watching UFC since 06, Rampage Jackson, all those guys, Chuck, Iceman and whatnot. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, John Jones and that. You're right, beginning of John Jones, and Little Machida and all those guys. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do some MMA. So anyway, so fast forward like 10 years after that, whatever it was, 10, 11 years after that. So I've got this new job, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm gonna do some martial arts. So I found a club down in London Bridge. They didn't do MMA per se, but they done like judo, that's a bit of grappling, done some like kickboxing, whatever. And I was
like,
the
gym? Where's this at?
Tokai.
Tokai, okay, cool.
Tokai. So they're more like at the time they're more like a judo club at the time.
Yep.
But now they do a lot more jiu-jitsu. A guy called Liam and Vernon. They
Liam Budo Wandi, I know him well. Yeah, he comes to us a lot. We trained a lot. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Oh, because he's always new to one.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Lovely fella.
And Vernon, so he's like but Vernon's Hodger Gracie. But he's unknown, but like mad.
Yeah.
Like he's levels, bro. Like I can't, like, you have to roll him to actually know what I'm talking about. It's mad. So at that time, I just started to go and do some judo, whatever, boom. And I thought, yeah, do some judo, do some kickboxing, and then, figure out the rest of how to do MMA later on. But I just want to get started. So before I even started the class, bro, I literally bought the judo gi. So I didn't even know if I was even do judo. Like
you was in.
I was committed to the cause already. So never forget my first lesson. It was brand new year. You know that brand new
all the gear, no idea.
New me, you know what I mean? That was new brand new,
Here he comes,
yeah. And then I remember before we even started, I told my mum and a few other people at work, innit? And then they were like, yeah, it's just a fad, whatever.
Yeah, bless him. Like,
you know it. Yeah, I was just like, okay, cool. So I go in, the guy, I think I had Simon and Nino at the time. So Simon was doing like the beginner. So it's me and the other girl that were doing it for first time as well. We're going through like the roles and the crash mates, how to break fall, all that stuff that you need to know. And I'm just like, I can drink, and I'm just like, right, this is kind of fun. I didn't understand. Done a bit of Randori, which Randori is basically sparring. And then I'm just like, cool. I'm like, that first session's over with, and I'm like, yeah, this is the one. So I'm in the changing rooms, and literally, bro, the room starts spinning.
Oh wow!
The room's spinning.
You're out there,
and I'm like, oh my days! I got vertigo.
Yeah,
and I'm literally trying to get out the class, get changed. I'm slowly getting out. I'm going down the road, and I go to McDonald's. I literally get like two burgers. I remember getting 2 burgers, ate one, and fell asleep. Like I was a bum. Like a bum. No, this is what
just a bum in McDonald's corner. Yeah.
And I falling asleep
with a burger on his lap. Yeah.
Like, jeez.
And his judo gi hanging out his bag.
You know what I mean? But just doing that was just like my introduction to that, to martial arts. But I never done the kickboxing, by the way.
Never got to that.
Yeah,
we're still pending.
It really is, bro. It really is.
I will go one day.
It will. It's there, bro. It's there.
Yeah.
And then after a while, about 16 to doing judo, the instructor was like, yeah, so we're gonna do some groundwork. I'm like, what's groundwork? I did not understand what he meant by that. So then I'm seeing this, like jiu-jitsu stuff, I'm seeing on the ground, I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's all this stuff? I don't want anyone to be that close to me.
Yeah.
I really wasn't. Yeah, like I wasn't really. I was just like, no, I'm not happy here. I'm like, keep a distance. Do you know what I mean? So like just doing that was so weird, because I'm all spazzing out and I'm all like, don't know what I'm doing and whatever the case is. But a guy that was there called Pete, he was like a purple belt at the time in jiu-jitsu, and they gave me like little tips.
Yeah.
And then from that, I was able to kind of like build like a little start, like a little game of what I could do. So the weeks after, I was improving rapidly because of it. Yeah. And I ended up going to like doing jiu-jitsu once a week, eventually. And then I started combining, I started doing cross training, doing both. So I do once a week judo, once a week jiu-jitsu, and then the kind of start going from there.
Nice. And then from there, you said, do you still do judo now? You say
occasionally, like bro. Occasionally, but like what were we in like June?
We are June now,
yeah. So, bro, like literally this year I've had about six lessons in judo.
So you're like a once a month kind of guy. You're that guy in class. People go, oh, look, he's back again. Look, he
bro,
thinks he knows judo.
I'm that guy that's signed for the competition. I'll train for about 2 weeks. Do the comp, and then
that's it. You're out. And what belt are you in judo?
This is embarrassing. I'm a green belt. It's
green
third
belt.
Q.
And I'm not too familiar with the judo belt.
All right, so basically, for those that don't know the belt system, there's basically 7 belts. Obviously, you start off with white.
Yep.
It's red, yellow, orange, green, blue, brown, and then dan grades.
Okay.
So I'm like halfway through.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're
but bro,
up
I've been like green belt for like 5 years, innit? So it's embarrassing.
Right.
So
correct me if I'm wrong. With judo, it's like an exam on the day, right? To get your next belt.
Yeah. So you can do most of the exams will be in class.
Yeah.
So you just do like a quick little half an hour, whatever it is. You do it. You get your belt.
You get your belt.
Cool. You pay your little £20, whatever it is, then you get your belt.
Is that right? Yeah.
All good. But when you get to doing your dan grades, your black belt grades, you need to actually fight for your points. Right. So you need to go to competitions or go to places where they're doing like dan grades, where they do like a lineup for you, so that every person that you beat by Ippon, you get 10 points. Essentially, then I think you need to get about 100 points in order to get your black belt, and then plus you could then got to do the theory. So the theory is like cutters,
I'm out.
And then so bro,
judo ain't for me. Theory.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got to know that basically the names of the throws. So you got to know like a wide range of what the names of the throws are, and then you got to do these movements called katas, like things like karate.
Wow. Okay.
So you got to do all these things. So you got to get a partner as well to help you do all these movements, because that's what it's really based on, the traditional parts of judo back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
it's
a bit different to jiu-jitsu, because for anyone who doesn't know, with jiu-jitsu, you just comes out of the blue a lot of the time, right? Coach goes, right, line up. So and so, step forward. Here's your belt. Hey.
Yeah, 100%. So jiu-jitsu is the only martial art that I know where you don't ask to get graded.
Never.
You just get graded by what the teacher says.
And it's almost disrespectful if you ask, right? Like
100%.
It's a no-no.
It's like, yo, you are out of your mind.
Yeah.
But I find it quite interesting. But I'm a bit on the fence about that kind of thing as well.
Okay.
Only reason being because if you put in so much time to your craft, I think it would help if there was the element of where you actually do like a test or something of that nature around it to see where you're at and so on and so forth, because there's not a universal thing to say that you're this belt or that belt. Everyone has their own ideas of what it should be, but it's not like a universal one essentially. So I like, for example, Roy Dean's one. I'm not sure if you know about that guy.
No.
So if you look at him on YouTube, Roy Dean, he does what's called like a crucible. So where you got to know like a set of moves and so on, so you got to demonstrate them. And once you demonstrate them, you got to do like I think 5 to 10 rounds of sparring rounds, and then you get like your belt. And so he puts you through the whole thing. So you got to study for it. You got to really. So it's not like he just gives you like the belt. You really got to obviously go to classes, do what you need to do usually, but then do the crucible afterwards to prove.
Very good.
So I like that idea. I like the concept. I like that idea. I think it's a cool idea to
but
be.
Also
to be fair.
on the other side of that, we've all been to jiu-jitsu like open mats at different gyms. Yeah, we're not mentioning names, but you go there and you roll with someone who's the same belt as you, and you go, where'd you get your belt from? Was it like a free 12-year Happy Meal or something, bro? This is, I'm not sure about that, you know?
Facts.
So that's why I like the coach giving it to you when you're ready, because it's like, it's real. He sees you a lot. He sees you when you're ready. But yeah, different opinions on it and whatnot. Where are you? You're a brown belt, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Where did you get your belts? Are you under did you get graded all the same guy?
So from up to purple, I was at Alexandra Park Jiu-Jitsu, and I got my brown from Apex.
Okay.
Essentially.
One of them jump shipper guys. I know your soul. Anyone who take anyone's.
Look, man, that's just it's true. I can't deny it. It's just true. But at the time, for me, the reason why I jumped ship, so to speak, which is true.
Yeah. Traded, whatever you want to call it.
What do you call it in Portuguese?
I don't know.
There's a word for it. I can't remember what it's called. There's a word for it. Was because because it's more of a hobbyist club, and because I compete. I need people to kind of beat me up. Sounds weird to say, but I need to
you need the right
up.
partners. Yeah,
I need to know that
you don't want to be the big fish forever in the pond.
Yeah, I can't.
But touching on that, I actually think there's an element of that's worth it. I think it's good to be around the people that you can go live with, that are good, that you have tough rounds with, but you know ultimately you can get control of if you need to.
Yes.
I do think that's important. What do you think?
100%.
Yeah, because you get to practice it live, right?
It's a balance, bro. It's where you're at. It's how obviously, yes, you do need that. You need both, best of both worlds, because going with that, for example, you can then do your new techniques.
Yep.
So if you don't, it doesn't matter if you fail
on a live opponent, as well, and they're trying,
Exactly.
And I find I like to do sometimes, like you almost give a position on someone, to let them see. It could be dangerous, but now you're in a real fight, and now you got to not get your leg ripped off or whatever it is, right? 100%. Or be humbled and just tap out.
Yeah, 100%.
And you don't want to tap out because they're a lower belt or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
we've all been there, right? And it is what it is. But me and you rolled, I believe, only once we've met each other on the mats, actually, right? As purple belts. Shout out Brixton, new school Brixton.
Brixton is always, man. Shout out to all the guys, man. Always
great guys over there.
Always welcome with open arms, man. So I'm always happy.
Fantastic crew around there. Reese obviously at the helm of it. Fantastic over there.
You got Paddy, you got Bailey.
You got them all over there. Bailey as well. Bailey. Yeah. So I've known Bailey for years and years. Like me and him used to box together when we was teenagers.
Like that.
Yeah. Like I mean, when I say I've known him for years and years, we didn't see each other for probably 10 years in the middle of that. Do you know what I'm saying? But we used to box together when we was teenagers and spar a lot and stuff. So it's a good bunch down there. Yeah, it's mad. We just met each other back on the mats. And it was like, I know you tonight. Because I'll tell you what, he's not his real name. Reese Bailey's not his real name, right?
Yeah.
I might be out him if I am, apologies, but he's it's like a YouTube name for him, right? So I knew his real name, so when I'm looking at his name I'm going, I think it's him, but he's like, he's got a new name, do you know what I mean? So it is,
of course, man. I understand that. I understand that you want to get your alias, you know what I mean? So, also known as, you know what I mean? So so we used to box back in the day years ago, so it's a great bunch down there, and I'm very lucky. Have you been to New School Battersea, the home? Yes,
the original.
I've been there a couple of times, especially like I think sometimes Liam would invite some people from Tokai to come down.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I've met some of the guys actually.
So it's a good vibe. It's go down there. Everyone's cool. Everyone's just chill. Again, it's exchanging ideas.
Yeah.
You know
and that's how it should be ultimately.
Yeah,
that's
man,
how we get better.
Crazy, bro. Nothing like egotistical. Nothing. No. That's what I like. It's just to kind of meet new people and feel like you can roll safely to a degree.
And ultimately, we want to get better, right? If me and you roll and we have, let's say, 5 rounds back to back, me and you, and none of us get tapped, that's fine. But to me, it's more beneficial to both of us if we both get tapped 5 times, right? Because we're learning. You tell me what you did, and I got this position on you. But there's a lot of people that get to, I would say, sort of purple belt, and they decide they don't want to get tapped no more. And we know them people, and they find their level to me. Like they're very difficult to tap, but they don't tap anyone out either. And that to me is like, you're not really doing jiu-jitsu at a certain point, are you? You're just being the coward in the room.
It's at some point you develop this thing of like, I don't want to be seen in a bad light.
That's what it is, 100%.
Essentially, so bro, you'll get caught. I don't. Obviously, it bugs me when I look. I won't lie to you. It bugs me when I get caught.
Of course, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like cool. I understand.
Yeah, I learned from that. And you need ultimately you needed to plug that hole, right? So whether he tapped you or not, you still got to learn that position.
100%.
I was on the mats today. A guy I'd never met before, big guy. And I did the classic sort of dangle the leg to go the other way. And as I dangled my leg to sort of look for a heel hook on him, he put on a footlock that was like, oh man, I got to defend this for my life. And I did get out of it, but it was like, wow, that was like an eye opener. Like you can't be slipping on these people because it is what it is, isn't it?
And the openings, and people were like, they were literally, they would just take it.
Yeah, man. And also I was teaching class, so when he's like, for him. Like, not that I'm trying to pat myself or anything, but I'm teaching. So when he's got a chance to rip my foot off, his eyes get this big, right? And he's like, let's take that foot home with me. So it was like, it's good. I think it's just good to spar all the time. And I know it's different to striking, obviously, and people say you don't need to spar. To me, that's the complete load of nonsense. If you could only do one thing in any martial art, it wouldn't be hit the bag or do your shrimps down the mat, would it? You'd be sparring all the time.
That's fine, because you need that real reaction of how people are going to resist to the techniques so that you can then get around it and go forward from there, man.
Absolutely.
That's how it runs.
Yeah, that's right. So take us back. We're jumping around a bit. So take us back when you first got your blue belt. I know you compete a lot, right? So firstly, how's it feel to get your blue belt? And then what's immediately on your mind? Are you looking at like, right, I've got this timeline for black belt, I got this, I want to do this, etc.?
Bro, I didn't care about the belts at all.
You did?
I was probably one of the first guys to one-on-one from a belt.
I'm not showing up to the gradings.
I wasn't trying to the gradings at all.
Top sandbag.
I was but like that was my thing. If it's a grading, Marcus will not be there.
Marcus is off that day.
He's not there.
He's got a bellyache.
He's not
but
there.
It's in 3 months' time. Yeah, he'll have a bellyache that day.
Because, and I remember, because the reason why that was, I got traumatized at a tournament.
Okay, explain that to me. Where are we going here?
So Nogi, English Open Nogi, I remember it was 2017.
And you're what belt at this time?
White belt.
White belt, okay. Fresh in the game.
Kind of, but I've been training for about just over a year.
So you're a good white belt. You're a solid
yeah,
white
I was solid white belt. And the thing is what it was, the first 9 months of me doing jiu-jitsu, I wasn't really, I was kind of in and out.
Right.
So I really wasn't doing it. I remember I was doing it once a week, I was kind of in and out and I wasn't really there. It was only until like 9 months into it, I started doing it way more consistently and I improved so much. So I thought, yeah, let's go do English Open, and boom, got down to Dartford. And I remember seeing this guy, short, stocky, bro. I thought he was on roids. I'm not gonna lie to you. Looks like he was on roids, bro.
Probably was. Let's be fair. Because them IBJJF white belt competitions, I don't even test him much. It's not you started testing for that, is it?
There is no testing, bro. It was so bad. Everyone was questioning, even the referee.
Oh,
Before
really?
we started the match, the referee was like, he stopped the match and was like, and went to the table and was like,
really?
Is he really 85 and a half?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
He was questioning it like legit.
Did he really weigh?
And they were like, yeah, he really is that.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right. And I'm like, oh, God. Anyway, long story short, he ends up tapping me out the last, I think, 3 seconds of the match. Because RNC. And I'm just saying that, boom. And he goes through the rest of the competition like nothing. And all the rest of them are like, no offense, but they were trash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got the best guy first. That was a lesson. Like, disrespect to get the best person first in the first round, because the rest of them could be trash, but like you could get the best person.
Yeah.
And for that whole year, my whole thing was, I'm getting gold at the English Open next year. That was it. There was no two ways about it. There was nothing to do. So when I got back to the English Open that year, I was thinking about cutting weight to get back down to 85.
Is this still at white belt? You're white belt another year.
So I dodged the blue belt.
So you was top sandbagger.
Yeah,
at this point,
I don't care.
Coming back.
I don't care. I had a goal in my mind. I was like, I'm get this goal.
It at white belt.
I am winning at white belt. Like I need to get that.
Training 17 years, but I'm going to be white belt champion.
Bro, I couldn't get a medal. I couldn't get a medal to save my life, bro.
You're hiding from blue belt.
I couldn't get a medal to save my life. I was just like, every competition I was going to.
Yeah.
No medals, bro. No nothing. And because I was at the medium heavy, obviously there's quite a few people. So like the English Open that same year, later on that year, I had like 6 matches, beat 4 out of 6 people, all submissions. And I didn't get no medals.
No medals for you.
I was like, what is this? On an ordinary day, like nowadays, you get beat 2 people, you're getting a medal, bro. Like guaranteed.
Oh, mate,
Guaranteed.
Some people turn up, lose their match and get a medal. Huh? I'd leave it there.
How does that work?
Why not just leave it there?
How does
Why
that
stand
work,
on a
bro?
podium? Why put yourself up there?
It's embarrassing, bro. Anyway, so I've done my thing, gone to the English Open. I've gone up a weight division, and my coaches are like, not good idea to go weight. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care. In my head, I was so
the first
convinced.
one you was 85, did you say?
85. This
and
one
the second one is
called heavyweight 91.
91. So it's a big-ish jump. But
I'm not really like 91. Really, I'm like maybe 89, 88. What it is?
Then, because you're a big boy now. You're much bigger than that now.
I'm ultra heavy right now.
How much you weigh? You did tell me off air. How much?
About 105.
105. Big boy, proper big boy. How
Not
tall
really,
are you?
bro. I'm only 6 feet.
6 feet. Is that all you are?
I'm only 6 feet, bro. I'm not like one of these. You know, those guys are like 6'3", 6'4". Like I wish, bro. I wish. Anyway, so I've gone and I'm quite like you're madness doing this. I don't care. I beat both guys. Boom, got gold, and I was like, bang. I get my blue belt 2 months later on, and then you get the blue belt blues, and I was just like depressed.
we might need to get a psychologist on
this episode. Depressed. I was just like, because bro, my belt was so easy because I could do whatever I wanted. I had no pressure on me. There was no responsibilities. Blue belt is all of a sudden you feel all responsibilities on you now.
Yep.
And I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to
Especially
deal with it.
Especially as a big guy, I would imagine too.
Yeah, man.
Because that comes into it. That does come into it.
And it was like, oh yeah, you're good. And I'm like, no, not really. And I'm just plateauing. I felt like I was plateauing, wasn't getting anywhere. It's all this madness. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So
what did you do? More medals or no?
Oh yeah, I kept competing.
Kept competing. Oh, you did. Okay. I thought this was going a different direction.
No,
I thought this was like checked into rehab and like. I thought this was going down a dark route. Like, you know, my mum don't love me and all this shit was coming.
My mum was wicked, you know.
Yeah.
I remember.
She still loves you? Good.
Just about. When I showed her the video of me getting choked out with the white belt back then, I showed her. She goes, she says to me, "That's not you getting choked out, is it?" I was like, yeah.
Nah, mate, my mum.
No respect at all.
No,
Zero
my mum
respect.
to this day has never in person or on tape ever seen any of my boxing matches or
you
nothing.
serious?
Never, ever. No,
I can't.
no,
I can look at my shoulder.
just never. It's not for her. She don't want to see it. You know, she's
Does she be like, oh, I'm proud that you doing?
nope, not interested.
Does she not have an opinion about you doing sports? Why is she not interested?
I think it's more of a worry thing, to be honest. Like, in her, you go in her house, she's got photos of me boxing on the wall, and she's got like the pose off photos and all that kind of stuff. But she's never watched the tape. For all she knows, I'm just a poser. I've never boxed in my life. Do you know what I mean? I've never done jiu-jitsu. I just buy a gi like you did on day one, tie a different colour belt around it every couple of years.
I've improved it.
Do you know what I mean? I'm really good, mum. I'm a little, but yeah,
That's
no,
mad.
never.
That's I thought it should have been at least.
Nothing. No.
My mom's a bit different about that. I remember she came to my first live one.
Oh, she came to it.
Yeah,
wow.
One and this was like an interclub. So I remember the guy I was facing was like a Brazilian, blue belt.
Blue belt Brazilian in England. That's
so
a rare
I
fish.
think we were both blue belts at the time, and I was so happy for her to come to kind of see this one. I was like, because I'm like, I'm gonna win this. This is gonna be nice. This is gonna be fun. I've got a production crew with me at the time. So I'm like, so I'm just feeling confident. I'm like, yeah. So do that. So before we done like the face off or whatever. So obviously I'm 6 feet. I'm not that tall, but because he was 5'6", I towered over him. So it looks like I'm a giant compared to this guy, right?
Yeah. So this little boy.
Yeah, like I'm just like boom, whatever, and I'm feeling
at your mum and
like
shit.
you know what you're thinking. Yeah, this is me. I can't wait, bro. He beat me on points. I could not believe
That's
this.
worse than getting tapped sometimes.
Bro, the position I had him in, I think I had him in a position almost like in a DOS. He escaped and then reversed it and then whatever, and then just got on point, just got on top, and I was just like, and I'm just there from Strugglesville, and then I'm just there like, wow. Anyway,
Mum's like shaking her head like, not my son.
innit? For real.
I don't know him.
And then my mum being my mum, right? Because she has to banter too much sometimes, a bit too much. She'll go, so yeah, remember that time that little Brazilian beat you?
That little geezer jacked you.
Yeah, that little Brazilian that got onto you. Remember that? Do you remember that? Yeah.
No, I don't remember, Mum.
It's like, wicked. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just that kind of that humbling stuff that happens to you in life.
It happens, doesn't it? Especially but jiu-jitsu also, you know yourself, like you go in the gym and like, it is, to ever get any good whatsoever, you've been tapped a million times, haven't you? 100%. Obviously, as you get better, you don't get tapped as much, but it hurts more if you do. Because like when you're a white belt, you don't really care, do you? You'd care if you got tapped by another white belt. But if, you know, Billy Fuckstick, who's a brown belt, taps you and you're a white belt, you go, that's okay. You know, I gave him a good show. You know what I mean? He only tapped me once or something like that. But as you get better at it, it is more of especially in that sort of blue belt range, because there are still a lot of people that can tap you, but you're in that kind of like, I think I know a thing or two here, you know what I mean? And you'll tap a white belt 4 or 5 times in a round, and the next round the coach is waiting for you. And you go, here we go again.
So have you ever been enforced before?
Explain. I know what you're saying, but explain for people listening, because we're gonna have to get into this. We're gonna get into this one.
All right. So for those that don't know, obviously those in the jiu-jitsu community know this already. You go to a new gym, particularly maybe like an open mat, and this tends to happen to guys who are blue belt and above. Tends to. White belt's not really, because you're gonna probably probably what happens to you anyway. But if you're blue belt and above, go to a new gym, and you do the most disrespectful things by like just killing a whole bunch of their guys at the gym
and being mean about it,
and like, being like
mushing their face into the ground,
and
cranking the face, not putting a clean choke on, cranking the arm a bit too much.
You're going competition style on these guys, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, the coach or whoever's there, or the highest rank bet there, will either themselves or get someone else to enforce you. So what you've been doing to all their students is not going to happen to you.
Yeah.
At that point. So the rule is, don't go to another gym and do all that stuff and not expect to get enforced at that point.
Do it right. If you go in there, and you can choke in as many people as you want, even the black belts, if you're capable. But you do it in the right way, right? You do it as in the jiu-jitsu way, if you like. You know, you smooth the way to things. You get to the back nicely. You don't smash his face. You get there and you put a nice clean choke on, and God bless you.
100%, bro. Yeah. However, this kind of happened to me, but kind of backfired. So The context is, I've been to this place. I'm not going to say any of the place because if I name the place, it's going to be bait. It's going to be so bait. It's going to be controversial. So I'm a blue belt. I've gone to the place, but I've been there before a few times and people know me. All right. So,
but you're a blue belt now, so you know a thing or two.
Yeah, so I know a thing or two. Yeah. And I am just doing my normal thing, what I'm doing. Because everyone's comfortable around me. So it's not like I'm a new face. But I'm a new face to this person who's seen me.
Right.
So the person who's seen me is a black belt. And they're seeing me like ragdoll, like one of the other blue belts. Like just ragdoll.
And how big's this black belt?
Black belt's like what, 5'7", 5'8"? Like, I don't know.
Little guy compared to you. Small guy.
But he's quite chubby in it, whatever.
Fat bloke, fat small guy.
Yeah,
small fat guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
No, you're doing too much. I ain't getting into no names out here, bro. No names out here. So he's seen this, and then as I'm rolling with the guy, I've looked up, and I'm like, oh, I already know what time it is, right? Because I was still looking in his face, and I was like, he's gonna call me out as soon as he runs over. I was like, okay, fine. So I finished up doing what I'm doing with this guy, you know, do all the submissions or whatever, boom, 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 whatever. As soon as he runs over, guy comes to me and goes, yeah, I'm gonna roll with you. I'm like, all right.
Oh, and he's all calm. He's like, you, my friend, we roll.
There wasn't no friend. The eyes said the whole story. I'm going to enforce you. And I was like, oh, but bro, you don't understand. I've been there. Like in my head, I'm thinking, you don't understand. I've been here before. Like everyone knows, like it's not, I'm not here for this.
A big show off on the mat. Look at this motherfucker.
Like, yeah. And then, but the thing was, bro, as we're now rolling, whatever, boom, triangle. I choke him out with a triangle.
Oh no. Oh no, that's not how I saw this story going. I just ruined his life. He still ain't surfaced since. Oh no, that is not what I saw coming in this.
And then the thing was, there was another black belt that was there, innit? And he saw this happening. He was just like, yeah, he's good in it. Yeah. Because he knows me, because I'm black belt knows me. That's what I'm saying.
He knows you.
But this guy has never seen me before.
No.
I said, yeah, he's got a good guard in it. And the guy was just like silent. So after that round was over, I was like, yeah, boom, slap hands. Guy was you can see he was like defeated. Because you called me out, trying to force me, it backfired on you.
And I tapped you, bitch.
And then now, and I was like, sorry.
And also, black belt to blue belt, that's a big drop. Yeah. Like, we're not talking about purple belt and blue belt, and it happens, right? A black belt getting tapped by a blue belt is a big deal, man. Like, for you as a blue belt to tap him, that's
I was like,
deal.
my first black belt tap out, I was like, oh my gosh.
You know, the only thing that made it better is if you went, you black belt? Oh my God.
Yo, wicked.
Just give it to him.
You're the worst, you know? You're the worst. How you doing this, like?
Who gave you black belt? Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man. I guess.
No.
Yeah, so you're tapping up black belts at blue belt and giving it to him, even though he's a little fat guy, you said, right? And his name was Dave?
I don't know what his name was.
I don't know what his
name. And I know his name. I'm going to say his name. I was about to say it. I was about to say it. I was like, no, don't say it. No, I was about to say it. And I was like, no,
don't say his name.
Don't say the name.
You're rocking and rolling. What weight are you at this weight at blue belt? Because you said, sorry, you started.
So I would have been about 90 at this point. I would have been about 90.
So you started jiu-jitsu at sort of 27-ish, you said, right? And you weighed
84, 85.
So not that big-ish, right?
Yeah, so heavy.
And then you go through the belts of progression. Is it just a progression? Was it intentional is what I'm trying to get at?
No, I was just eating.
Just like McDonald's. And just keep chucking your judo gi and falling asleep.
You know, every time I go to America, you get those big meals, like, you know, because they do like those huge deli shops. Obviously, you got all the typical franchise shops. You got over there as well. And they give you like big portions, bro, with the big fucking drinks.
And everything. You want fries with that? You want potatoes?
You want extra large.
Yeah.
It's all XL. They went XL. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And because it's like only like $10 or whatever it is for the whole meal, you're like, why not? I'm on holiday. Why wouldn't you?
Why not?
Pancakes, waffles.
The why not would be because you still want to make 85 kilos, bro.
Oh, I knew that life was over for me. By the time I went to America, I was like, it's kind of done.
Forget it. Yeah,
it's done. I'm not making that way again in my life. Yeah. I'll need to be super disciplined, bro. I need to be like I don't know, bro.
And unless you're making a full-time living just purely from jiu-jitsu, it takes the fun out of it, right? Like I said to you before off camera once, when I was boxing, different weights, different years, something to do with the Olympics. Not that I was at the Olympics, obviously, but when you was boxing in different competitions, they'd have the weights would be slightly different to match the coming Olympics. So there'd be less sometimes. So if there was a 67, 71, 75, at the time, not now, at the time, I could just about make 71, right? But I couldn't do 69 when the weights changed. It would go straight from 69 to 75. But I tried to make 69 and got to 69.8, to which my coach, and I've said this on here before, shout out Sid Khan, looked at the scales and went, it's all right, just box a 75 then. And I've been starving for days.
Worst.
And then you get in there with someone who's ready for 75, who's decided to do
they're probably cutting down as well from...
Or at least comfortable at 75,
yeah, because
right?
they're cutting down. They're probably at least, 2 kg, so 3, 2, 3.
Exactly, and maybe more sometimes. Some boxing guys are nuts. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I can't really remember how big he was, but, you know, it was... I won the match, and I just thought, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why would I do that again? It doesn't make sense.
It's mad.
It doesn't make sense. And especially jiu-jitsu. The reason I bring that up is because jiu-jitsu, you're not getting punched in the head. So to me, I'd rather feel good. I don't know how you feel.
Energy levels.
I'd rather feel good and go against someone who's bigger than me than go with someone who's about the same size. But I'm like,
yeah, you're wilting. Because even those guys that, bro, I think so many times, guys, even though I'm heavier than them, like, I'm not really like I'm not really a super, sorry, is it ultra? Yeah. I'm not really like an ultra natural ultra heavyweight. I am literally a guy that's more heavyweight status than ultra heavy. Okay, I'm just fat anyway.
Like McDonald's in America.
But facing guys who are smaller but they're stronger than me, I'm just like, yo, this is nuts.
Yeah.
So even though I'm bigger, like in terms of weight, bro, these small guys are super strong.
And sometimes it's hard, the person that's one weight division below you.
Yeah.
Because it's close enough, but they're used to working a little bit faster, aren't they? So it can be hard to go against sometimes because you're not talking about going down 8 divisions, are you? And you're 40 kilos heavier. We're talking about like a bit of a difference. And you know as well yourself that sometimes you can be there with someone who's essentially the same size as you, but for no apparent reason he's 8 kilos lighter. And you look at him and you go, why? How? What? Maybe he's got skinny legs or whatever. But do you know what I mean? Like, you're looking at him and you're going, we're the same size. How are you that much lighter?
Bro, I think guys that are bigger than me. And I'm just like, how are you 94?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm literally looking at them. You know that they're probably like gym guys.
Yeah.
I'm baffled. I'm like, how are you, like, how is this possible? Like, I am baffled, bro, how you making that weight. I'm like, no.
That was a big eye opener for me, like when I started boxing and stuff. Like some of the times you turn up on shows and you'd look at guys and you'd go, that's a big guy. And you watch him step on the scales and he's like 67 kilos. And you'd go, what? Wow. You look down, he's got skinny legs, fair enough. But he's, you know, he's 6 foot tall, he's got big arms and a big chest. And you look at him and you go, oh, I'm boxing at 75 tonight. Like, Jesus Christ, he's bigger. Well, he's not bigger than me because he's got little legs, but you know what I mean? And you look at the size. And especially, I think certain body types can do it better. Certain body types can't do it at all. I know guys that have been skinny as a rake, no 6-pack. They just can't get that extra little bit out. You know what I mean? They've got like black bin liners on, they're running around the streets and they can't get the extra ounces out. You know what I mean?
Bro, it's what it is, but it's the sacrifices to get to that weight, bro. Yeah. Sometimes it's worth it to me. It's not worth it to me at all. No,
it's pros and cons for sure. If you get in there, I've said it already, but it's like if you get in there and you feel 80% of yourself just to fight someone your size, what's the point?
Nah, no point.
What's the point? I'd rather feel good and fight you.
100.
Do you know what I mean? Your 100. Size. What's the 100.
Point? I feel like guys who are bigger than me, and I'm like,
yeah. But it is what it is, isn't it? You can deal with that. It is, but if you feel good, you can deal with that.
I can, but I have to be patient.
Yeah.
Because I remember like the last guy I fought, he was like 140, at 140 kg.
That's big.
And I remember him just grabbing, as I told you before, grabbing my lapel, grabbing my belt, just dashing on the floor. And I was like, oh, here we go. And then, but then he said something to me, not to me, sorry, to the referee, that's profound. The clock said 6 minutes. Whether it's wrong or right, doesn't matter to me. He said to ref, is that clock right? Isn't it not 5 minutes?
So you know Fat Boy at 140 is in trouble.
He's in trouble. I was like, oh, you're going to be tired soon. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So then psychologically, I know that all I need to do is just do the right technical things and I will catch you at the end. And I caught him with a minute to go with an armbar.
Yeah. And you have these light bulb moments too. Like I had it in the gym. Well, I say recently, it wasn't. It was probably about a year ago. An open mat with a guy I didn't know.
Yeah.
And he was a lot bigger than me. And I was up against it. And this is hard work. But about 3 minutes into like a 5-minute round, I saw him sort of step back and give it the old, and I thought, he's tired. And I just put a pace on him and I ended up tapping him 3 times in the last 2 minutes. Not because I'd done anything different. I just turned up the heat on him a bit and he was ready to go and he was done. And when I say I tapped him 3 times, I really tapped him once. The second 2 was like, just, he's done.
He can't breathe.
He's had enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he was bigger than me naturally, but he was also a bit tubby and he was a bit, you know what I mean? But he was a handful until I went, his pace is fucked here. It's never ending, right? The more you know, the more you realise you don't know, and the 100%. Less you do as well. I don't know what you're like. I've seen you on Instagram and stuff like that. You seem quite wrestling heavy. Am I right with that?
No, wrong.
Oh, wrong. Okay, explain.
Okay.
You was teaching a takedown the other day, bro. What's going on?
I know. I teach. Oh, I know. I joke. But I don't really do takedowns really. In terms in wrestling terms.
Because I didn't remember. Sorry to cut you off. I didn't remember you doing with me. I remember you sort of like, you know, being on your back.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's more me.
Yeah, I was like, he's wrestling now. I'm interested, but you're not.
Not really, but my stand is more like judo based.
Okay.
Essentially, so I can do a bit of wrestling per se, but my strategy isn't really straight wrestling. It's more, I want to see how you move and then adjust accordingly. Essentially, being in the division that I am, I have to stand up because the person who tends to get the takedown tends to win the match.
It's interesting. Okay.
So you know that different weight ranges and what they're gonna go for anyway. So your strategy is gonna be different according to your weight class. And knowing how these guys, like, the big guys are really bigger. They don't really play jiu-jitsu, guys. Big guys don't really play jiu-jitsu, bro. They're more like this big zombie. That's more that their vibe, their style. So once you kind of understand that, you can then kind of develop your arm around it. So I like osotogaris. I like doing hip throws, uchagaris, boom, 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 bang, and then I work from there. It tends to work. So particularly osotogari, like I love that one. That one's kind of a nice, because you get the leg, you reap it, they go down there, and then it's like yep, and then you start working from there. You do occasionally meet the big guy who can do stuff, but for the most part, if they're dead anyway, they're squat strength. That's it. They're dead on arrival. Yeah. So my thing is, if I can out strategy you and then out technique you, out everything you apart from strength wise. Then yeah, that's pretty much I'll win the match. So very rarely have I met anyone who I'm stronger than. That's
really
rarity, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry, I remember maybe once, maybe at Purple Belt, the guy, I think he's from like Romania, and he spoke shit to me.
Oh wow.
Okay, he was talking shit to me because we fought both nogi and the gi. So the nogi, like I'm not really good at nogi particularly. So I was mucking about and I ended up beating him like 3-2 or whatever it was. And he goes to me, "Oh, watching the gi," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, you're like, "Bitch, you watching the gi? you watching
the gi?" So I loved it. So later on in the gi now, I've literally I lost in absolutes. So I'm pissed off already. So I'm pissed. And then I've got him next.
Fuck's sake.
So I'm in the corner somewhere sitting down. I drop my belt on the floor. My friend comes over. It goes like, "Bro, I know you lost to the like it's all good. You can't stay calm and whatever." And I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking about the next match I'm gonna face, and I'm just like, he's dead.
And he's in your weight division as well.
Yeah, he's in the weight division.
Yeah, you, yeah.
So then we're going on the mats, and I'm like, "Oh, you're the guy who was talking shit to me before." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I'm just seething inside. I'm seething. So before I even wanted to defeat him by submitting him, I wanted to show that I was stronger than him. I've done that. Showed that. I pushed him out to the area.
Yeah.
Like the referee was saying stop, I didn't stop, and I give
him the old heat.
Yeah. And he was surprised. He was kind of not surprised by me, innit?
So he ragdolled this poor Romanian, come over it.
Yeah. I throw him on the floor, boom, that's next done, over. Yeah. He's there like, I get into mount and he's doing the whole pushing the arms thing, and I'm like, "Oh, you're giving me your arm? Thank you so much." Wrap it around, boom. He starts to roll. I roll with him. As he's rolling, I get tapped out, boom. Raise my hand and walk off the mat. And that was me.
No shake, no
it's not kind of, but
no jiu-jitsu lifestyle, nothing.
I was just off, bro. I didn't care.
And is this when you was like a sandbagging 5-year white belt, or is this after that? Oh, purple belt. I take it back. I apologize. I apologize.
So I remember that it was. I was just, if I'm in that kind of a mode,
when you turn it on, you can be mean too.
I will. But
and how was you as a kid? Was you a street fighter? Did you grow up being mean guy?
I was just chill. I wasn't really. Bro, I talk a lot of shit, but I wouldn't fight into no one. Come on,
right?
I wouldn't fight no one. Really,
I ain't fight no one.
What am I fighting for? What do you mean?
Was you always a big guy?
No, bro. I always started growing when I was like 16. Like, I know 16 is like 5'8".
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went like.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 5'7", 5'8", bro. 16.
Interesting.
So
a little growth spurt.
Yeah, a little just in time, bro.
Just in time, because women are becoming very relevant.
Yeah, like if you're under 6 feet, then you're just a friend.
Hey, bro, 5'10". We call it 5'10", and we say no more. Shut the fuck up. 6 feet? That's excessive, bro. You calm down over there with your judo gi in your bag.
That's what they say. Like, I see this, bro.
Nah, you're hanging out in the wrong circles with these high maintenance bitches. Nah, 5'10".
Because it's crazy. Because as a kid, my family, like, they're mainly women. When I was growing up, they would say to me stuff like, not even to me, but just around me. They'd be like, "Yeah, I hope my son or whatever, my nephew grows up to be at least 5'10", 5'11", because you know these girls like they don't want any like short man or whatever, boom, boom. Bro, we're having like these full grown conversations in front of him, and I'm like, I'm really not putting two to two together. I'm like, what the hell is this about? What do you mean?
Yeah,
what are you on about? Yeah. Bro, and then obviously as you get older, you get a bit wiser to the game, and you didn't see something.
Oh mate, yeah, I can relate. I mean, I was really little till I was about 14, and then I hit a bit. And now I'm not tall now. I'm in the 5'10" category. Shout out to all the short men that are under 5'10". But like 5'10" was always like a holy grail for me, and I'll tell you why. Because my mum's a little tiny lady. She's like 5'2" and little petite. Right? I'm about the same size as my dad. My dad was 5'10", and you know it's like as your kid, your dad's like the man, right? So, and Mike Tyson's 5'10". So I looked at that as like, if I'm 5'10", I'm good. Do you know what I mean? But then when I was like, as I say, 14 and I'm little, it was a problem for a while. But then, as luck would have it, I hit the mark, and I'm probably 5'9" and 7 3/4. So. we made it in the end.
So you're doing like Kevin Hart, 5, 4.5, or 5 and a half, and a half. Don't forget the halfway.
And a half, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've met some women that make it a point. When I say that I'm 6 feet, like, you don't mean to have 5'11", do you? I'm like, no, I mean I'm 6 feet. Like,
hey, bro, you're mixing in the wrong circles.
No, I'm serious, bro. I swear
Don't marry that one. Send her home.
I'm just like, no, this is what it is. Like, what? Because I don't know if they've been traumatized by some.
Mate, listen, put them in an Uber and send them home. Listen, don't even get him Uber XL. You get him the cheap one. Ride share.
Well, they want to try it.
Ride share. Get the fuck out of here. You're lucky I don't put you on a bus, bitch. Fucking. We're getting cancelled before we started. Let's go with a bang.
Oh my day, well done.
Yeah, nah, I don't play that short stuff. Yeah, I don't play that short stuff. I'm not the tallest guy in the world. Listen, you want to talk about height? I get real mean real quick. Start telling you my stats. Shadow boxing.
Bro, you're like the fucking the British version of Sean Strickland, bro.
Yeah. Mate. I'll tell you what, you say that, right? I won't say what I said because we will get cancelled. But I'm having banter with the boys on the mat the other day, and we said something, and I said a certain word that you could say in the 90s, but you can't say now.
Yeah,
but one of the girls who's younger said to me, You can't say that.
yeah.
I looked, I said, how old are you? She said her age. I said, when I used to say that, you weren't even born. It was acceptable. Yeah. No, it's never been acceptable. Like, told me off like she was a teacher. And I was like, whatever. And she said, you can't say that to him.
Bro,
she said, you can't say that to him. So I said, why? But he is and said it again. And just steered into it and like played around it. But apparently, at 33 years old, I'm a dinosaur. I'm fading out here,
This is what it is, man. I think you got the SJW crowd, did it, of today.
What's that? What's the SJW crowd?
Oh, basically it's short for social.
Oh, social justice warrior. Sorry, okay, yeah. I've never heard it put as abbreviated like that. Social justice warrior. Of course.
SJWs in it, bro. This is what it is.
SJWs, yeah.
There's a lot of things you can't say. Because, bro, like, even saying that, for example, when I say it's not mean any offense, but when I was a kid, saying like half caste wasn't a thing.
That was the word when I was a kid. That was how it. That's
how literally.
And it wasn't meant derogatory.
Nothing at all. It was like postponed. So everyone was just basically it was never a thing until a certain point. It was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what happened there? What changed?
Yeah.
So things obviously happened and whatever, and
And this was fairly recent because I heard this exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
That's the word that I used as a kid, not because it was derogatory, just because that's what the word was. And then when I was in a gym, I must have been about 21. I wasn't a kid. I was like 21.
Yeah.
And a mixed race girl said to me, and she was cool. She was my age, older, whatever. And she said to me, that's not the word anymore. The hipsters won't have that and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and I was like, why? And she was like, she filled me in and told me. And I was like, okay, cool. But I think my theory on it is when a word's been used, whatever it is, for a certain amount of time, some motherfucker will find a way to go, you can't say that anymore. Like I said spaz on here earlier. You can't say that no more.
Yeah, facts, man. Facts. You know what I mean? It's how it just one's current like that, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just.
But intent's got to count, isn't it? And it is. We agree on that, obviously, because that people just want to be offended.
100%, bro. Like most times, I just want to be. I'm just quiet at the time. I'm just quiet at times and just see where I'm at. I observe where I'm at first.
I try and be quiet, but then when someone tells me they're a two-spirit unicorn that's called Steve and they got a beard and they identify as a woman, I'm struggling, bro. I'm struggling. No.
Bro, I identify as a billionaire. Because there you go. Where's my £1 billion?
There you go. So by that measure, you owe me about 100 million at this point. So we'll call it square and I'll get the Excel home.
It's all good, bro. 10%. Yeah, take 10%, bro.
Exactly. There you go. So but that's the way of the world, right? And it'll be interesting to see how it goes over the next 10 years because the last 10 years have been like mad. Like if you said 10 years ago someone identifies as a fish or something, you'd have looked at them like, huh? But now we're getting.
There's a kid. No, bro. There's a guy in Japan that is a full-time dog.
He's a full-time dog.
Yeah.
And it's not a mental illness. We're not ready to just go.
He's got the whole. I'm sure if I read it correctly. It's got like the whole suit, the whole everything, bro.
Yeah.
The whole shebang. Like he's a full-on like dog.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
Yeah. Well, there was a guy. I'm not sure if I think he was Dutch. I might be wrong, but he was a Dutch guy, and he was like in his 50s, and he wanted to identify as a 25-year-old. And he was pushing for a legal battle, so he could identify as a 25-year-old. Yeah. At what point do we draw the line and go, bro, you're just batshit crazy?
This is the thing about it. You don't know where it is.
Yeah.
You don't know. I think there's a clip I saw on what was it? Was it Piers Morgan? I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was. There's a black girl and there's a white lady and it was him. And then Piers said something and the black girl started laughing. She was finished. Like, she couldn't take it. Yeah,
she couldn't have no more.
She couldn't take it, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he was saying the same what you're saying, like, where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the line?
And then she didn't know, like, oh, it's just ridiculous. But what you're saying could be conceived as ridiculous. So what are we saying here? Yeah. Perception is perception.
Well, where does it go the
true.
other way? Whereas what you're saying is so crazy. You're offending me now because you're making me sound like I'm some oaf that can't put two and two together. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And as we said, it's got to come down to intent, right?
Yeah.
If I say something to you and it's offensive to you and you pull me up on it and go, hey, and I go, sorry, bro, no problem.
Yeah.
Surely that's the way to go. Not go, oh, I'm offended. I'm telling fucking, the two-spirit unicorn in the
It's a conversation, bro. It's just like amazing. It's to kind of educate. A lot of people don't know a lot of stuff in it. Like again, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you educate and then you do know, you do it again, then I know you're intently you're taking the piss in it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But if you don't know beforehand, like how can I really like punish you for something you don't really know about?
Exactly. What am I supposed to do if I don't know? Just sit there and not say nothing because I'm scared that if I say anything, it's wrong. Yeah, come on, man.
I mean, this is where you get a bit like you need to have a bit of common sense, I guess. In a sense.
You do. Because I'll give you another example. My grandparents would have said about black people, they would call them coloured.
Yeah.
And I remember being a really young kid. And I said, so and so, my friend, whatever his name was, is black. And they said, you don't say black. It doesn't sound polite. You say coloured.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's intent. Now, obviously, they're fucking batshit crazy. They're wrong. You're out of your mind, granddad. But you know what I'm saying? It's to them, they're trying to be polite and they're trying to put me right. As it happens, they're putting me wrong. But you get the idea, right? It's intent, isn't it? You know what I mean? But people don't want to hear that today. When I said when I was messing about with the boys on the mat and who it concerned was laughing his ass off. But I still got told off. You mustn't say that.
Yeah, of course.
Like, why? He's laughing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, whatever. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about martial arts, shall we?
Yeah, man.
What you got coming up?
I'm competing tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Whoa. Yeah. So you will have competed by the time this comes out?
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be injury free.
Very good. Where are you competing at?
Brighton 24/7.
Very good, mate.
So I'll be doing my division gi and then absolute gi. And then hopefully I survive.
Hopefully you survive. Well, this don't sound very confident, guys.
No, because basically I injured my wrist 2 weeks ago at a comp, judo comp. So.
So you are still doing judo? Like you're kind of shying away from it?
Yeah. I've done it 2 weeks ago. I became a masters. Had about 5 fights. Won 2 out of 5. Weren't too bad. Got thrown through a few times.
got flipped around. You know what I mean? That was a good day out,
bro. Some of them was like they were clean throws as well. They were clean throws. I was like, okay, they're up to this. It was fun because they were fighting thank grades. So it was. So
you're on. It's nice.
Yeah, bro. And I didn't feel like I was at my depth at all. It just felt like sharpening. So again, if I'd done, I kind of said I've done 6 lessons this year.
Are you going to be a black belt one day? Is that your ambition?
Oh, I don't really care, bro.
But jiu-jitsu you do, I'm assuming.
No, I don't care either.
You don't care either. So if you die brown belt, you don't care.
Bro, I don't give a fuck.
Really? That's really interesting.
Because for me, the belt, it's not about the belt, it's about your skill level. Yeah. I've never been about the belts itself. I've always been about the skill level. I've always been about how proficient you are. The belt level was really just kind of like, think about it. The belt level was really just to kind of let people know how good you are, right? In a sense. Yeah. To let them know, like, whatever. Yeah. But really and truly, we go on the mats, you have to improve it anyway. You can't hide behind the belt. The belt's not going to save your life. You have to prove those skills every single time, no matter what it is. Yeah. And I think that's what I believe is missing. There's so much emphasis on the belt, I don't care. Let's just go on the mats and let's just roll and see what it is.
See what's up.
Let's see what's up, man.
And I had this conversation recently with a training partner of mine who got his purple belt. But before he was a purple belt, he was one of them where it was so overdue.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He was smashing higher belts. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I could see, we was talking about it, and it was like, bro, who cares, man? You're smashing the higher belts. Surely you'd rather be you than be the higher belt getting ragdolled and tapped 3 times in a round, than, like, by you. Do you know what 100%. I mean? And it is what it is, isn't it?
Facts, bro. This is how we run things.
Nice.
This is how I see things anyway, bro. I don't ever see it as, even when I do get my black belt, whenever it is, I still see it as still gonna be learning, still gonna be training, still gonna be applying new techniques. I'm still gonna be researching. I'm still gonna be doing all the stuff I was doing before. I'm still gonna be improving regardless. If
anything, more, because there's more pressure on you now, right? That's how I see it. I see it when I get to black belt. In a lot of ways, that's a new journey now. You're on you've made it to the first level in a lot of ways, haven't you?
100%.
And now a lot of people would say as well, that's where the journey really starts.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the beginning.
You don't want to be the little fat black belt who gets triangled by a blue belt. That's gonna stick for a long time in my mind. The thought of that, because I thought that story was getting so different.
Nah, bro. It was Uno Reverso in it for my guy that day, because again the intent wasn't what he thought the intent was. It was just, I was just doing my thing, and everyone knows me. You thought it was something else, but it wasn't that. And then it backfired on you, and then you felt kind of dumb.
That's what you get for being a bully,
because you thought I'm just a blue belt.
Yeah.
You underestimated me, innit? You thought I was like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm the best jiu-jitsu guy. not at all.
Just better than a little fat black belt. I hear you, bro. Loud and clear.
But if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna submit you.
100%, and it should be, because I don't know if you've experienced it. I'm sure you have. When you teach, right? I've experienced sometimes teaching where I'm demonstrating something like in a reaction type way, and the person I'm demoing is being like, and just letting me do it, and I'm going like, hey, don't give me too much respect. I'm just a guy. I'm not, do you know what I mean? I'm not fucking, just do it properly. If it don't work, show me. Do you know what I mean? And it's important. And my wrestling coach, shout out Lubo Kumbrov, he did that. He made that important to me too.
Yeah,
he sort of said to me like, hey, don't do it for real, or don't bother. You know what I mean? And it's important, because when we roll, I've definitely done that in classes before where I've rolled with people too.
Yeah.
And like you see them, like a bit like you, like where you use the blue belt and the guy sees it, and you know what it's like when you're coach. It's not even about enforcing or they're doing anything wrong, but you sort of go, oh, cool, I'll go and spar with him because he's whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then they go into a shell, and they're just laying on their back and like being respectful, and it's like, hey man, I've not got a Superman cape on. Just tap me the same as you did him. Do you know what I mean? But is what it is, right? What I want to move on to with you, mate, because I think you said it before, is martial arts. Sorry, MMA, mixed martial arts. Yeah. MMA fans still, or are them days over?
Always, bro. Like, I'm more excited for MMA right now than I've ever been before.
Yeah, I love me some MMA. We did a review show for 302 just gone. Firstly, tell me what you think about the main event before I give you my opinion on it.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it was closer than what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but it always looked like a matter of time to me.
It did, but here's what I found very interesting about that matchup.
And sorry, that's Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier, for anyone who doesn't know.
The fact that in every match Islam and Khabib's had, their strategy is the same: get them to the fence and then take them down.
Yeah.
The fact that the majority of people have not dealt with this situation, not dealt with that scenario,
so good you can't do anything about it.
Crazy to me. It's legit crazy to me. I can't believe it.
Yep.
Dustin's probably one of the I think maybe McGregor a little bit, but Dustin's probably been the closest I've ever seen of the best strategy kind of used against that. The first round obviously didn't go as well, but after that, 2, 3, and 4, from what I was seeing, mainly got dodged a lot of those tactics. Not quite happening out in the open. His takedowns wasn't as effective until like the final round, of course.
Yeah.
But you were seeing like he forced Islam to go to another level. Yeah. He had to dig deeper now to his toolbox. Yeah. Whereas before he was just like, get to the fence, you're here, you're trapped. Yeah. You're now done. Yeah. Reversed it. And I gave him a fight. Yeah. And Makhachev's a good striker as well, actually. Man, he's a good striker, man.
I was so impressed with him in his fight when he won the belt against Charles. Like, mate, he just cut through him like nothing. Like absolute. I thought, because before that I thought Charles was a great champion, and I thought Islam would win, but not like that. I didn't think it'd be
to tap him out like that,
like quick as well. And he must have had that. I know everyone's going back in time a bit, but he had that choke on tight, because as soon as he passed the legs, He was
tapping, bro. And that's the immense pressure that those guys that they train with. It's like, it's more than them coming from Dagestan, and it's the mentality of they train day in, day out. That's their obsession.
All they do. They don't go out drinking. They're not partying. They ain't got dirty women on the firm. They're just doing it. This is all they do. And their dads did it, and they made them do it. And it's like a cultural thing, and it plays such a massive part, doesn't it? And I also think they cut the weight a lot because they're big guys, man. I think Islam's huge, right? By the look of it.
Bro, he's 5'10", and what is he? He's like probably walks around like what, 170 or something.
I think he's even bigger than that. Like they say, Khabib's 5'10", and he looks a bit taller than him.
Oh yeah, he's like 200 pounds easy, bro.
He's got to be off season, and he's jacked, man. Like he's I want to see him go up to 70. I mean, we love Leon, right? British Charge. He's our boy, isn't he? But like,
that'd be a good matchup.
Him and Leon, tough matchup, I think. Isn't it?
I think Leon would win.
Do you?
But yeah, I think he would win. If he does the same strategy to get Thundergates again, because remember he's fought Covington and Usman, and those guys.
Covington was a weird one, right? There was something up there.
He's Covington. Every time he gets to the big matchups, he's had close rounds.
Yeah. But
he just can't get over the line.
I think he fucked up in the press conference, Covington. Do you remember what he said about his dad? So Leon Edwards' dad got shot, right? And died. And he said something about, I'm going to send you to hell so you can see your dad. And Leon threw something at him and it went off. And I think that's the first time we've seen Colby kind of go, shouldn't have said that. And I think that he carried that in with him because he kind of thought a bit like, sorry, bro, I didn't mean to say that. And I think it's the first time he kind of swallowed a bit. Do you know what I mean? Because that wasn't a fight. It wasn't a good fight, was it? It was terrible.
For Colby, no, it was bad for him.
Yeah,
he should again. If there was a chance for him to win the championship, Leon would have been his best chance.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
His best chance, because I think now the guys that are coming up right now, I don't think he's beating.
And he's also at that age, I think, where he's probably past his prime and he's coming down. And when you've had 3 shots and lost all 3, it's tough then, isn't it? Like, to motivate yourself to go again.
Yeah, man, especially when you're done a transfer fight, it doesn't say to stay for you after you lost your third fight and it goes home.
And let's be honest, rich as well, right? It's different, isn't it? When you're skint and you're sleeping on Jorge Masvidal's fucking sofa. Whereas now you're a rich guy. And if you go home with a sore foot, it's easy to put your foot up on it and chill and like do nothing. Whereas before, you're in a different world. Like that's the thing with McGregor coming back, which is what I wanted to get to. He's a different man. Even if you take the physical side out of it, he's a different man than he was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, or however long it was, I think it was 11 years ago when he got in the UFC, he came into the UFC on the dole, right? He had no money and he's skint. And when he got 60G bonus, it's the famous 60G, baby! And like that was a big deal for him, right? Like for him now, he's probably got that in his pocket at any given time, isn't he? You know what I mean? 60Gs to him now don't even get him interested.
100%.
No. So he's fighting coming up against Michael Chandler, which in my opinion is a guy that if he fought in his prime, he wipes the floor with style-wise. You know, I think he just completely dominates and goes. Firstly, do you agree with that? And if yes or no, what do you think about this one coming?
All right, so I think in his prime, I thought McGregor would have beat Chandler. He's beat guys like Chandler before with tremendous.
Eddie Alvarez is a big one.
Yeah, so he's beat that style before. Like he's not afraid of that, and a lot of guys are afraid of him. Because usually you have the psychological edge going into a matchup anyway. So a lot of those guys would be like, they would give it the big, like in a press conference, I want to beat him. And but because of his aura, that's what everyone was kind of facing. Like even Jose Aldo. So the reason why Jose lost him was because McGregor was such in his head to the point where he didn't fight like he would normally fight. He fought completely differently to how McGregor wanted him to be, and they actually beat him. This McGregor we're seeing right now, I think this McGregor we're seeing is, I think he does want to be back here, but I think with the injury that he suffered, if he beats Chandler, cool, but I don't think he will. I think Chandler is gonna just take him down or knock him out straight. I don't think he's the same guy. Especially you saw him against Poirier 2 and 3.
Especially 3. 3 was different. When 2, I think he was doing well until he wasn't. But 3 looked like it's not the same guy. I think when I see, and I know it's easy to say from the outside, isn't it? We're not around him, you don't see him, but he just seems like he's someone trying to pretend to be who he used to be. Whereas before it was real and it was fun and it was like the Eddie Alvarez fight, by example. Whatever you think about him, is definitely one of the best performances I've ever seen. Like
clean,
unbelievable,
clean. It was one of the cleanest performances I his shots were on, his timing, everything.
So calm too. He was just floated.
That's it. And I think now I don't think he's that guy anymore. No. As you said, I don't think he's someone different, but being different is not a bad thing. It's just about being able to grow into who you are at that time.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's growing into that person. Plus, he's not had that rhythm of being in fights as well. So he's been 3 years.
Yeah, I think it's 3 years. By the time he gets in, I think it's 3 years since he broke his leg.
Bro, that's a lot. And China's been in there how many times since during that period?
And he's also, that's 2 fights lost in a row. And before that, he hadn't fought for another 2 years, I think. Do you know what I mean? It's like we haven't really seen him at his best since the end of 2016.
Yeah, so when he left to go box Mayweather.
Yeah.
He came back and then he came back to fight Cerrone. He looked well in the Cerrone fight.
Yeah, he did. But Cerrone was on a losing streak, and also another one that's been, accused of bottling it at the top level, isn't he, when the lights come on. But also, it's like you said about the persona. I think if the persona's gone, at that point, even though he's very skilled, he's just another fighter. He's not the same. Like, he doesn't have that, like, make people shrink in front of him vibe. And once you're just like, people are just
whatever
straight at you. I think it's a different, like the Khabib thing is a great example, right? Khabib
didn't care. Khabib doesn't care regardless. You can see there's certain guys here. You can see that Khabib didn't care regardless. No. When he passed a certain line, it was pure business at that point for him. You can see that it wasn't play time anymore. It wasn't none of that stuff. No. It was just, I'm going to hurt this guy, and that's always going to be to it.
We're never going to be friends. We're not shaking hands after. There's the famous clip in there, I think it's between round 2 and 3, where they come together and he goes, let's talk now, let's talk. And he goes, it's just business. And you can see he's looking at him like, not to me, bitch. It ain't business. It ain't just business to me.
You're done. And that's the psychology of Khabib, man. He ain't playing no games.
And he's one of them that you seem, you can't speak for someone, but he just seems like he's not interested even a little bit in fame, is he? He wants to be the best fighter in the world, make his money, and that's it. Done with it. It's
cool.
And he's done it. And I think he retired at 31 or 32.
McGregor's opposite. He needs to. He's a guy that feeds off of that energy.
Yeah.
He lives for it, and I think that's why he's here for fighting.
That's why he's back, and I think he could end up potentially being a bit of a sad story where he's still fighting over the next 3, 4, 5 years, and he's losing more than he wins, and I can see that.
If he loses this fight, I think he maybe have 1 or 2 more fights and he'll be done.
Yeah.
I think he'll be done, and then I think you're not gonna. He's never. For me, I don't think he's ever gonna fight for the title again. Personally, I could be wrong.
If he wins this one, he will.
If he wins this one,
If he wins this, who's he fighting next? Be honest. He's fighting Islam, and they're bringing all that shit with Khabib back up again, aren't they?
And Khabib will be like, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Khabib will be here for it because he's like, oh, some more money for us.
Oh, you again? Yeah. You remember what happened last time? Yeah.
Easy money.
But also, I think if Conor wins this fight, his mindset would be beat Islam for the belt, and that's going to get Khabib back because that's what he wants, I think, right?
Yeah, I think he wants Khabib because I think recently called him a rat again. I'm like, why are you just?
He called him a coward at one point too, which is weird. And it's like,
bro, he's not a coward. He fought you. He beat you.
Easy too.
Easy, like you weren't. Look at. I think McGregor was his hardest fight actually. To be fair,
and he did better against him. Yeah, and he didn't get the credit because people talk about when he got dropped. If you watch that combination, when he got dropped, he bounces straight back up, reverses him, puts him on the cage. Yeah, so it's not like he got dropped. He got caught with a shot, buzzed and went up. Yeah. Or sorry, touched down and came back up. So he gave him a tough fight, but the reality is it don't matter because it only seems close because Khabib mauled everybody else and Conor maybe not won a round against him. Do you know what I mean? So the whole thing is like, you can look at it in a certain way, can't you? You can look at it like Conor did really well, but if it wasn't Khabib, he didn't really do well, did he? Do you know what I mean? It's just that Khabib's so far ahead of the competition. But the ones I want to ask you about is the ones coming up as well. So we got, well, firstly, just before we wrap up on this one, Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa.
That was hilarious.
What the fuck was going on there? What was that?
That was Costa realising there's levels to this.
But I mean, it was bizarre. For anyone who didn't watch it, it was basically Costa backing away. Which
is not him at all. No. And everyone's talking about it. Again, this is the psychology part of it. Up until Izzy, he was the most confident person that I'd ever seen in my life. Like he fought Yoel Romero.
And fought him, met him in the middle, give it to him.
And for me, there is no one more scarier in that division at that time. Even since then, apart from Espargaro.
That's a motherfucker. That we'll get to him. We'll get to him.
But there's no one more scary than those two. Obviously, Izzy's scary, but he's not
scary in a different way. Yeah. He's scary in he's so good he's going to embarrass me anyway.
Exactly.
Whereas Pereira's like, if he hits you, forget it.
It's done. It's done for you. There's not been any guys, rarely been guys like that. And Sean Strickland is not, for me, a scary guy.
No.
He's a guy that's very consistent. He's very all throughout his
and I think
fights.
he knows what he is too. You hear him so many times. He goes, "I'm not a great athlete. I'm not a massive puncher. I just fight, man." And apparently, how true it is, you don't know. But he don't really train. He just spars twice a day, every day.
Does the same thing, bro. It doesn't change.
The thing, I've spoke about this before on here, where they said they gave him the mouthpiece at the UFC PI.
Yeah.
And he sparred more than anyone else and got hit less than anyone else they'd tested.
Yeah.
Because he was just used to it. Because he just spars and he doesn't mess around with all the strength and conditioning and whatever.
That's what it is,
He just does what he does. He said, sometimes I hit the pants. But just to please his coach. Most of the time, all he does is spar. And
that's what it is, bro.
But he knows what he is. He's not trying to be a big puncher. He just knows he's going to stick it on you, and it works. And I just feel like, I think he beat Dricus, by the way. I think he should still be champion. I think there might have been some trickiness there trying to set up the All Africa World Title fight because they want to go to Africa, and I get it. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a great fight, but I also think Israel Adesanya's probably past his prime, because the reality is he's lost 2 of his last 3. He lost going up to light heavyweight. That doesn't mean he's past his prime necessarily, and even losing 2 out of 3 doesn't mean he's past his prime, because he lost to Pereira, right? And he beat Pereira, which I think was probably due to weight class.
I think he was just mentally fatigued.
Yeah,
I think there's a point where when you remember, he's one of the few champions that's fought often. Even look at Islam. Islam fights. No disrespect to Islam, but he fights maybe twice a year at best.
Yeah.
Izzy fights maybe like 3 times in a calendar year.
Yeah, and that catches you, doesn't it? Because you need your downtime. What people don't realise as well, I think, is that it's the fame around it. Yeah. When he goes home, like if me and you go home and close the door, that's it, right? Whereas for him, every time he goes outside, it's a fucking event, isn't it? Like, and that's exhausting, and you can't disappear. And especially something like UFC, you can't get away from it. Wherever he goes, there's people going to be swarming him.
You're like basically the face of New Zealand MMA, New Zealand Australia MMA. Yeah. Got that guy, and Africa
to an extent, right? Because they're trying to go to Africa. There was the 3 African champions, so and that's draining, man, isn't it? You know what I mean? When you're carrying a flag for it's not even a country, a continent. It's that's draining experience, isn't it? And when he's come through the Pereira fight and he's knocked him out, and he did the famous interview, didn't he? And just experience this happiness once. Yeah. You've climbed the mountain, right? To me, and again, it's easy for me to say sitting here, isn't it? Yeah. But for me, that's time to go chill. Even maybe give up the belt. And I know he's not going to do that in reality, but relax, take your time, chill. Maybe go up to like heavyweight and try that again. Yeah. But just take your time. Don't jump back into, because the Sean Strickland fight for him, he was such an overwhelming favourite. I don't think anyone gave Sean Strickland a prayer, did they? No one gave him a prayer. And what's he motivated for? He's just climbed that fucking mountain, and now he's got Sean Strickland in front of him, and he probably thinks, I'm going to beat this guy easy. So, how much do you really put your foot on the gas? And I don't think it's even a training thing. Like people say that about John Jones. I think it's more what you do around it. Like, when you're home and you should be going to bed at 9 to wake up for the run in the morning. He's going, fuck it, I'll play PlayStation and it's 3 in the morning, just as an example. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I can go drinking tonight because it's whatever. Do you know what I mean? And then that catches you, doesn't it? And then Sean Strickland beats you in front. Well, it wasn't his own people, it was Australia, but close enough. His part of the world, isn't it? But I'd be interested to see what he does next against Dricus, because I've got to think that a prime Israel would beat Dricus quite comfortably.
The thing is that matchup is a very good matchup. I think because Dricus doesn't fight like a pretty style. No. People are kind of underestimating. But if you look at Dricus as a whole MMA fighter, he's a proper MMA fighter.
Very good fighter.
Look how he done to Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker for me is
Robert Whitaker.
Sorry,
Forrest Whitaker's the actor. God, the actor. Is he beating up actors too? When you said that, I was like, "Whoa, what did he do? Yeah. What did he do to put off Forrest?"
Can you imagine Forrest Whitaker as a
middleweight? Forrest got to be about 60 now.
Sorry, Robert Whitaker. Jeez, Forrest Whitaker. Damn, that's hilarious. We done to Robert. Who's going to beat Robert? Only Izzy.
Twice. Izzy's beat him twice, and he's lost. I think he lost to Romero. He didn't. He got the decision. He beat him twice. I think the second time he probably should have lost to Romero, and then before that, he lost to like Stephen Thompson at
170
welterweight. So it was a different thing.
To beat Robert,
big deal, man, massive.
It's a huge deal because he's only lost to Izzy. Yeah. So that says a lot about, again, his overall, and Robert's one of the best overall MMA guys, period, for my pound for pound, because he fought in a division where, again, he's only 6 feet. Mm-hmm. He's not the biggest guy in that division, and he beat guys like Jacare Souza, Romero, all these other guys who are like monsters, and he's beaten them all. He's been in wars and beat these guys. So he's legitimate, a proper MMA fighter who can hold his own. So Dricus, to beat him was okay, cool. He's a serious contender. You can't underestimate him at all.
No, the thing I think with Dricus, when Israel got in the ring that time and he was kind of shouting at him. And I know it don't mean anything necessarily, but he did kind of stand there and have a bit of a, okay. And like, it looked to me like it was a bit like, oh shit, man, that's Izzy, you know?
Yeah,
He looked like he took a back seat a little bit. And when the big guy, if you like, was in front of him, his mind went, oh, don't know about this. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to beat him in a fight. And that could just be like, Israel's more comfortable in front of, like, talking in front of the whole world. And he's a bit like, I don't really know what to say. I don't want to look stupid. But for me, looking at that, I went, kind of 1-0 Izzy. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of talked down to him and made him look a bit silly here, and he's had no answer to it. Because he kind of, from memory, I might be a bit wrong, but he kind of sort of went like, okay, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro, yeah. And it was like, all right, man, you know. And again, it's easy for me to say he's just been in a fight, ain't he? Do you know what I mean? So, whatever. But what's your pick on that fight?
I'll slightly give it to Izzy. Slightly give it to Izzy.
Yeah, I would lean to Izzy just because I think it is best.
Because he be so motivated. Because he be so motivated for the fight. So it's the same motivation that you have for Perot. He'd have for Dricus.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he would really want to win for Africa, like in his mind.
That's a big thing for him, I think, isn't it? Because huge. I think they played on a little bit like, you left Africa, you live in New Zealand, you're not African anymore. They played that kind of card a little bit with him, haven't they?
Which is a bit mad.
It's mad, and I think that's got to play. That, you know, annoy me. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, who the fuck are you talking to? You know what I mean? And like, I think that plays into it. It can go both ways. It doesn't mean anything, does it? But you know, I think Israel, if he's coming back for this one. He's got fire under his arse.
And he's been away from the spotlight. He's been away from everything. Like, it's just been a break for my guy. So he's had to be able to mentally recharge, spend time with his family, spend time with his friends. He's obviously still training, of course, no doubt. Just helping his teammates get prepared and stuff like that. But the spotlight's no longer on him. So he can, it's like a Rocky thing, right? So it's a Rocky.
That's what you need, right?
You're backing now. Rocky lost the title and no one cares. Everyone's on the new guy. Boom, now you're like, all right, cool, now I can go back to training.
Yeah. Well, also, they haven't announced the date yet, I don't think. Right?
No. And I think they're working on it. I think maybe, I'm going to guess, say maybe, wait, we're not going to Australia.
Well, I was more guessing that I think maybe they're trying to set something up in Africa.
Can they do it this year, though? Because I swear they said they couldn't do Africa this year. And I think they want to do this title.
I think South Africa you could. Yeah. I think South Africa you could, not because, I don't know anything about it, right? But they've got quite a big organisation in South Africa, haven't they? You know, I know Kamaru Usman's got his own show actually in Nigeria as well. But I think it's a bit lower level at this point versus the South Africa one has been popping for a while. So I think that, I'm reading between the lines, not playing conspiracies here, but maybe they're like bumming it down a bit to sort of like keep looking over here. Bang, there's the massive Africa card and we're going to Africa, you know? Which would be fantastic, right? That's one of them ones. If it was in Africa, that's one of them ones that makes me go, okay, no, should we book a flight? Let's get out there, you know? Let's see that. Because I think that'd be a mad one, wouldn't it? To see that for the first time.
Like Muhammad Ali vibes.
Muhammad Ali vibes, but also countries like South Africa, Australia, England as well. Stadium culture, football, rugby, shit like that. So like, they're the shows you can get under 1,000 people for. And like, that's madness, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? To go and see that. I've been to Wembley for boxing over here. And it's nuts, man. Like, the people are small and you're sort of watching the screen above them. It doesn't matter because the atmosphere is great anyway, you know what I mean?
That's what it's always about, bro. It's always about that, so you can create in these big sporting events. So it comes down to is energy. People love being around events that are bigger than themselves. This is literally what it's always about, bro. Always about that. So
always about that. And they last forever, don't they? You know what I mean? They mean things like you mentioned Muhammad Ali in Zaire, which is now modern day Congo, but at the time it was Zaire. They'll be talking about that in 1,000 years' time.
100%. I mean? Imagine being in the arena, seeing Holloway and Justin Gaethje.
Point to the centre. Come on, bro.
That whole fight was just a classic fight from start to end.
Mad fight, that one. That was
classic. You know, that's going to be knockout of the year for sure. There's no
argument. I don't think you can argue.
You can't beat that fight, bro. That's like the decade or the
literally the last second as well. Insane.
You can't make this stuff up, bro. It's like there are moments that you see. I remember watching it, going it's early in the morning and I'm watching this and I'm going crazy and I'm like,
I watched it by myself. And I gave it like one of them, like, yo, what is going on here? Mental. It's one of them. I don't know, loads of people have said it already, but like, if you saw that in a film, you go, shut the fuck up. That ain't real. Stop it. Like, it's real and it happened. And Max Holloway looked great. But I want to move on. The one I want to ask you about is John Jones. Because there's a lot of moving parts with that one. The reason I asked, the GOAT, 100%. And the reason I asked you, because there's a lot of moving parts and I want to tie it in with the Pereira thing we said earlier. So we'll start with John Jones and I'll bring sort of Pereira to it because I think Pereira's next move might be heavyweight. And I don't know what you think about that. But John Jones is fighting Stipe next, apparently, right? I don't know about you, but I don't think that's a good night for Stipe at this point, do you? He's been way inactive. And John Jones can be inactive and come back and beat you at
Bjj best than beat you.
Stipe's older too. And he
Stipe
got knocked dead.
Was he 42, 43?
He's 43, and he got knocked out bad by Ngannou 3 years ago.
I think the knockout is fine because you recover by that point. So the knockout I'm really concerned about.
Yeah, okay.
But in terms of the body recover, but in terms of being out of inactivity for that long, you being that old, not too old for heavyweight, but he's still old.
Yeah,
You're against John Jones, who's great. Who's known for his great movement, great wrestling. He out wrestled Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, and you said he's the GOAT. You think he's the GOAT?
I think he's the GOAT.
To me, the way he beat Cyril Gane made me. And people can say what they want about Cyril Gane. Still a great fighter, man. And the way he beat him was just like
nothing.
He beat him the way I would beat a 12-year-old. Like
Straight.
Just grabbed him and like that's it.
Dashed him, whatever. Didn't care about his football. Didn't care about him being a good kickboxer. Did not. John Jones does not care about who you are, and I think people kind of forget he was the guy that was a 23-year-old guy who beat Shogun Rua, who was a monster at the time,
and then beat him,
crashing,
like played with him.
Did Shogun Rua, who was in his prime, 31 in his prime,
yeah,
again in pride, like he's called Shogun. He's a general. Like there's a reason why they give him that name, and he just beat him at that 23 years old. I saw his first UFC fight to that point there. His improvement in those, I think it was 2-3 years, whatever it was, crazy, unheard of. Like I saw him striking, I was like, what kind of striking was this in his first fight? What was this nonsense? He beat this Brazilian guy, I think, on points. To that, yeah. And he's got it all. He's mean. He's nasty. Like if you look at the Vitor Belfort fight. Most people would have tapped. Most people would have tapped to that broke his arm.
And he tapped him with that arm after. Like savage. And, he's had the Gustafsson fight where he come through. Classic fight. He's got it all. To me, he's the GOAT.
He used to be every single former champion, bro. Lyoto Machida, Shogun Rua, sorry, Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans.
Yep.
What are we talking about
Cormier.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah. And Gustafsson, who was born at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because he would have been champion probably in a different era.
Teixeira, like
Teixeira was a big one too, yeah.
He's beating them all.
Yeah.
Now, given I think they lose to Reyes, would I let you?
Yeah, the question. Yeah. But the thing is with that one, and like Reyes is not as good a fighter as some of the others. So to me, I can almost not forgive him, but like, do you know what I mean?
He's
like,
not
it's a bit
motivated.
like. Yeah, exactly. We know you're better than him anyway, so you got away with that one.
Why are you going to train for the... I know it's arrogant, but you're like, I thought the best... Who is this guy?
Who's this guy? And bless him, Reyes has been... I think he's on a 4 or 5...
He's got a curse. Call it John Jones curse.
4 or 5 losing streak after.
You fight a guy like Jones and you can't catch a break. It's mad.
Yep.
It happened to Anthony Smith. He fought done well against... Did you fight Jones?
Yeah. Anthony Smith. And in fairness to Anthony Smith, he got kneed illegally and they would have given him the win. But he said, no, I'm carrying on, I'm good. And he
didn't do a Aljo.
Yeah, I mean...
Sterling, they did Sterling though.
I've said this on a couple of podcasts when we spoke about things. It's like, you can't win the belt that way, man. That should have been a no contest at best.
Should have been. But
and I also think, I know we're jumping around, but I also think he lost the rematch to Peter Young too. Close fight.
Do you think so?
I think Peter Young got him then as well.
No, I think he just...
No, you think he beat him then?
The original 100% he was losing. Like I think in that original fight, for some reason the nerves got to him. And it has these random fights where nerves, you can see him, he's not his normal confident self, and he loses those ones. Like Sean O'Malley, for example. Same thing again. He overreaches and then Sean O'Malley counters him.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do it, bro? Like you're the champion, you're that guy. So what are you worrying about this guy for?
Yeah.
So again, sometimes he just does stuff like that. But it's
is what it is, isn't it? Yeah. So John Jones' next fight, as we said, Stipe. I think we're both in agreement. John Jones should win that comfortable.
Easy.
At this point.
Should be easy.
You said easy. Bro.
Should be easy.
Hey man, why are you going bad on Stipe for?
No, Stipe is good.
Yeah.
But like,
was great, I think.
Yeah, but like again in activity, I'm not really interested in him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no,
it's just the name at this point.
I'm with you.
For me, it's just the name. It's like, sending someone out to fodder. Like, you just, there you go.
Here's a name for you.
Yeah, here's a name.
Because the other side of that is the interim champion, Tom Aspinall's fighting Curtis Blades, which is a rematch. They did fight, but they didn't really fight because Tom Aspinall threw a kick and his knee blew out or whatever happened.
Yeah, had a bad knee injury that then got dealt with. And then
he had an existing thing. And from what he said, it was there the whole time he was in UFC, but he was kind of putting it off because he was winning and making money and then it blew on him. Which, it happens, right? So they're rematching. I think Tom Aspinall beats him comfortable this time.
Yeah.
And then goes on to fight
Yeah.
John Jones, who probably beats Stipe comfortable.
Issue.
Agreed or no?
Yeah, agreed, but I don't think UFC won that.
You don't think they won that? Okay. No. Why?
Aspinall's not a name yet outside the UK.
Interesting. Interesting.
outside the UK. He's not a name.
No, okay. But would he be if he wins this one?
100%.
Yeah. So if he beats Curtis Blades, I mean, not the John Jones one. If he beats Curtis Blades, big enough name to fight John. I think he's got it, right? He's the interim champion.
By default, yeah, but not by. Let's see the numbers of pay-per-view numbers in it, and we'll talk.
Yeah, I get you. I hear you.
Let's see what pay-per-view numbers, then we'll talk.
And he's not the main event either. He's.
I don't think he's the main event, but we'll see numbers, and then
we'll see numbers. I got you. I hear you. Because let's just say it all goes together, and he does fight John Jones.
Yeah.
I think that's a hard fight for John. I think 100%. He's a great fighter.
But I still go for John though.
I do. No, I do. Don't hear me wrong.
I still go for John.
I go for John.
I'm just like, Aspinall's great. Like.
Great fighter.
Great. And again, he's like, what, 28, 29, whatever he is?
I think he's 30 now. I think he's just turned 30.
Yeah, bro, like, you're a young heavyweight. Like, yeah.
He's the right size. He's 6'5", can move like that.
And boom, man. And I think he will be one of the best heavyweights ever.
No doubt. Oh, yeah. Wow.
I think Aspinall will be known as one of the best heavyweights ever, period. There will be no doubt about it.
Nice.
But just right now, John Jones, he's been here since 06.
Yeah.
Around that time. So 07, when he came to the UFC.
Yeah.
But he's just been around that. He's been through the generations, through different belts.
And he's not that old. He's still only sort of 35, 36, whatever.
Wherever he is, bro.
Yeah,
like
36, 37 maybe.
And he's in a prime for a heavyweight.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Prime for heavyweight.
Also, maybe a prime if you look after yourself, which he hasn't. But if you look after yourself, I don't think that should be old, should it? Really, especially now with the science and stuff they've got at the UFC PI and all that business.
He'll be in shape, bro. I know that people talk about he's fat right now. Like, oh, yeah, he'll be in shape in there by the time he gets to a title fight, bro. We know.
Yeah, especially
we know how he
don't want to go out on a loss. To him, he wants to retire undefeated, doesn't he? I know he's got that bullshit loss, but he's undefeated, right? So he ain't gonna let that slip to some young English cat now, is he? He don't want that. He don't want that.
He wants 2 more fights and he's gone, bro. And he's happy. That's literally what he wants.
And if he get let's just say he gets past Stipe, he ends up beating Tom Aspinall, and retires. It's very hard to argue at that point that he's not the GOAT. How could you argue that? Do you know what I mean? You can't. Just let it be. Because if you go on long enough, you're going to lose.
Facts.
You wouldn't want to see him lose to a lesser fighter.
Yeah.
You know, is what it is, right? But what I want to bring it back to is my boy Alex Pereira. Does he go to heavyweight? And if he does, how much of a problem is he?
This is the great conundrum. You know that someone's like an anomaly in a sport.
That's exactly how I feel. He's like asterisk, and he's like something's weird there.
You're like, he can't really wrestle.
No,
he has decent takedown defense, but yet he finds a way to win.
And when he was about to get taken down by Yuri Prohaska, it was almost like he said, "Fuck it, I don't care. I'm just going to punch you out anyway." And he was halfway down and still punching.
But Herrick Joke, though, he's not the first person to do that.
No, he's not. But he's like, he had no interest in the takedown defense, it seemed like. He was like, I'm just so good and so powerful, I'm going to finish you now.
But he knew, like, again, seeing, what's his name, was it Travis Brown?
Yeah.
Done that.
The elbows.
Was it Ben? I can't remember if it was Ben or what. I can't remember who the other heavyweight was. And it was like, I think that was the first time people were like, you can't just have your head out there.
No. You got to be very careful.
Because if you're a big guy and the guy's powerful and knows to punch in the elbow, you're going to go out.
And if he hits you once, probably don't stay there. You can't stay there.
You're finished. And Alex Pereira he's one of those guys that he has knockout power.
Mad power as well. And the size of him too. Like they said he got into the cage at 205, in the actual cage at 232. So how big is he normally? Like he's going to be a 240 heavyweight, right?
Naturally.
Naturally. Without even trying. So if he just decides to get on a bit of the old strength and conditioning, I didn't say juice, but strength and conditioning.
Do you know what I mean?
If he gets on some strength and conditioning and tries to be a little bit bigger, he's 250. That's big enough, man. Like how big do you need to be?
He'd be fine.
He'd be fine.
He'd be good. Against the right matchups, he'll win. Would he beat Tom Aspinall? Potentially.
I was just gonna. That's exactly the word I was going to use. Potentially, because if he clips him, good luck with that one.
But Aspinall don't care. That's what
the most likelihood is in 10 seconds, Aspinall's going to have him on his back. And
then boom, that's it.
And then it's trouble.
Aspinall's takedowns is like phenomenal.
Yeah, because I know he lost to Israel and he got buckled bad in the fight that he won. But I've got to think a lot of that's weight draining, right?
Yeah.
He's so big. I just feel like that shot at light heavyweight wouldn't have touched him, would have bounced off him.
But that's why Yuri Prohaska was an interesting fight for him, because Yuri has great power too.
Does. Mad power, yeah. And he's aggressive. He's a wild cat.
Yeah, he don't care, and he don't care either. He had the same like mentality.
Yeah.
And he's not a guy that again he doesn't shy away from anything. No. So he was the kind of the perfect.
He's
opponent.
mental too. He's talking about going down to middleweight. For what? He's huge.
Nah, bro, stay at 205. Like,
But I'm a big Pereira fan. I'm a fanboy. Like after his last one when he done Jamal Hill, you know, when he got the kick in the nuts and he just didn't even look at the ref, gave him one of them
classic,
jobs.
Bro. That was in the same card as was that Holloway?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 300. Yeah, he gave him the old "not now, Herb, move out the way."
Now a lot of people are saying that changed the fight, and I can see why they said that.
I can see why they said that, but at the same time, and in fairness to Jamal Hill, he said, "Nah, it was what it was," because. What do people think happened? As soon as he went like that, Jamal went, okay, cool, I'll relax.
No, what they're saying is that the distance has changed from what happened. So
it changed for both.
Yeah, but he's saying that so cool. So I think the argument was Pereira was a more larger, a slightly further distance. Yeah. And as we know, a step in this game can make a huge difference. Uh-huh. So I think at the reset, obviously, Jamal said it was okay, it was good, but at that point, I think Pereira was I think they're saying that he was at slightly closer to Jamal than he had been previously.
Hey, bro.
I know.
Remember when I laughed at you when you tapped that little fat black belt? Hey, bro. Hey, what are we doing here?
But that's what they're saying. For me, again, and this game is about millimeters, isn't it?
Yeah. No, listen, I'm fucking about it. I agree.
So I can get what they're saying, but again, it's protect yourself at all times at the same time.
That's what I was going to say. I agree with you with what you're saying. That's a potential, but at the same time, this is a fight, right? This is what happens. The man's in front of you, he's throwing punches at your head. You didn't just suddenly forget to fight, did you? Even if you gave it the old-fashioned earmuffs on and like sorted yourself out and took a beating and figured it out. This wasn't what that was. He looked at you and went, bash, have one of them. And that was, I mean, he must be so powerful because the way Jamal went down was like, he had his eyes this big, didn't he? He was like, fucking, what just happened?
It's immense that. I think at the UFC PI, like he has the record for the hardest punch, right?
And by far too. He like beat Francis. I think I'm right when I said it. Like Francis got something like around 128 or something, and he got like 190 odd. Like it wasn't even close. Like completely punched the fuck out of the thing, you know.
So remember, he's got power and technique.
Yeah.
So Francis' technique isn't bad.
No.
But you can see that, you know, Pereira's technique, his kickboxing.
He means it.
He's been doing this, isn't it, for years, right? So it's gonna be that. So.
And he's huge too, as well, when he for the weight. Like he's massive. There's a photo of it or video of him going around in Saudi when he was near Tyson Fury. Yeah. Now I don't know if Tyson Fury's 6'9" like he says he is, but you know.
I thought he was 6'8".
Well, he says he's 6'9". He's probably 6'7", right? In reality, but either way, he's a fucking massive unit. But Pereira ain't that much smaller next to him. You're like, he's got to be 6'5" and like
at least,
you know, big. There's the famous photo of him. I can't remember who he's next to with the hands. Have you seen that one? He's got his fist up next to another fighter. There's a fighter from when Pereira was a middleweight. Yeah. There's one of him when he's a middleweight next to Reyes. Yeah. They're stood there and he's much bigger than him. But there's another one when he's a middleweight next to a light heavyweight and they're like this. I can't remember who it is. And he's got a big, massive hand compared to him. It's like a proper shovel next to another geezer who's got
scary, bro.
Mad genetics. He's a big scary boy.
Facing that guy in training. Can you imagine to face him in training every day?
Every day. Every day's kicking your legs and boha.
Bro, them leg kicks are scary, I can't lie.
Leg kicks hurt. You ever been kicked in the leg?
No.
Not the most fun thing I've ever experienced,
bro.
I've got to be honest. No. Not the most fun thing I've ever experienced.
Kicked the DC in his leg. He was like,
Like, whoa.
DC was like, yo, my guy, relax.
Yeah, well, fans do that to UFC fighters, don't they? They say, kick my leg. If there's anything, I'd rather them punch my face than kick my leg.
No,
don't kick my leg.
What do you mean get a dead leg after that? You're limping around, you can't do your normal tourist shit. Like,
you don't need that. Yeah, I don't need to not walk. I'd rather have a black eye. I'll live with a black eye better. But anyways, mate, we've had a funny time today as well as a sort of constructive one, a few serious points. But what's your plans going forward, mate? In terms of jiu-jitsu, obviously you've got tournaments.
Jiu-jitsu, so I organise tournaments. So
you organise tournaments too.
Entity. Okay. So if you guys know about it,
we'll put the link in the description below.
So next one's going to be in a couple of weeks' time. Got decent amount of numbers so far as well.
Nice.
So
Is this gi or no gi?
Both. We live stream it as well. So we live stream one of the mats. So,
nice.
So it's again. Production company, so what we do, bro.
Nice.
So again, we're just at the moment growing the brand for that.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna go. So guys, follow us at the One Entity on IG, follow us on the Entity Martial Arts on YouTube, and see some of our stuff, see some of our podcast stuff, and some of our live streamings will previous stuff. And then we'll know what we do. So nice, we're gonna be elevating over the next year or so. Just continue to improve and see what it's about. So
very good, man. So we'll put all the links in the description below.
Appreciate it, man.
And I could talk to you all day, man. There's loads of things I keep feeling like let's go into it, but we'll be here for about 3 weeks. So maybe we'll do a second edition at some point, and we'll come back and we'll revisit. I'll bring a sleeping bag next time. Then we'll move in. And we'll have it. But thanks a lot for doing this, mate.
Thanks for inviting me, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro, man.
Bosh. Episode 11, I believe this one is. Squeeze the neck.